I don't really ever watch streams, so I don't know.
I just watch Doroya's stream and try to make him listen to Gachamuchi. It's my whole life.
You didn't. It's probably been like what, 2 days since you shaved? 3?
Yeah.
It's showing.
Well, you know that one time where Ink said I couldn't grow a beard, that hurt me, man.
Wait, was that me?
Was it your boots?
I just shaved like 2 days ago too. I mean, mine grows this fast. I went to Chick-fil-A one time, and this girl approached me, and she says, "Oh my God, I love your beard." And I said, "Oh, thanks." And she said, "How long did it take to grow it?" And I said, "You know, a couple days." And this was when it was like down to here. And she's just like, and she got confused. And I was just like, "Don't talk to me. I don't want people to talk to me." So.
Wow.
I don't know.
It's a great story.
I have other stories way better than that.
Are they beard related?
No.
Oh.
There was I was a DJ in college for 2 years, and I was sitting in my dorm room playing League of Legends, and like I was just, you know, my roommate was sitting on the other side playing WoW, and these 3 girls come in wearing only t-shirts that were like really long, and they said, "Oh, you're the DJ." I said, "Yeah, and I'm playing League of Legends. Can you get out of my room?" Oh. And I had friends on in Skype, and they were just like, "Did you just do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck." So,
but Brazil,
it's good.
You've already told this story.
Oh no, I can't.
Oh,
I can't tell if people are saying that or not. This is the fun story.
You're not saying anything.
Those powers don't work on me. I'm just indifferent to whatever. I don't care.
The charms of the sirens have no effect.
Charms of anything. I just want to be left alone.
Yeah, I just want to be left alone in a dark hole with only
memes.
A deep dark dungeon. A deep
the
dark
stream
dungeon.
Still isn't loading.
Really?
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
That's really weird. It's fine for me.
That says page unresponsive, and it wants me to kill it or wait.
Oh, just kill it.
Kill.
Just kill.
Kill it and then restart.
Just kill the stream. That's the only way. But yeah. Oh, there's no World 3 and 4 coming? Is that confirmed? I don't know.
It was part of the live stream. I think Josh Foreman said that at least as of right now, they don't have the...
They indefinitely suspended it?
No, it's not indefinitely suspended.
Oh,
right now, he said that they don't have the time to do it because a World 2, I think he said, took them like 6 months. A team of 6 people, 6 months to complete. And right now, the resources are all tied up in working on Living World and all that kind of stuff. So they're not working on World 3 at the moment. And if this is a yearly thing, which it's supposed to be now, that means that they'd have to start work on it within the next 6 months, and a lot can change in 6 months. So who knows whether they're going to have time.
Yeah, they might rebuild the whole engine again and then break it completely for 2 years.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh. But isn't that the same time that legendary people got? Like they got 6 months with 6 people, and they didn't. They produced one legendary, and the other guys got 6 months, and they created SAP. Like, I don't get that shit.
I don't know. I have my own legendary today.
Yeah?
It has a black aura around it. It's pretty good.
That's good shit, man. I hear that if you drink that, it gives you invincibility for a few seconds.
Yeah,
right?
It does.
That seems pretty overpowered.
For a couple hours.
Yeah. How many charges has that thing got? That seems OP. Fucking exploiter. But yes, Super Adventure Box is back, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a new weapon set.
beat it in 38 hours and did all of it because he's a tryhard. Well,
he's
he's actually crazy.
Yeah. That. Wow.
Yeah. I guess it shows you have to play quite a lot though to get all the skins, right?
I have a
each
question.
World 16 times. Each zone 16 times.
Twitch chat is going. There's just no one typing. It looks. I only saw Bio Balls type just now.
Yeah, the chat's not really alive right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fucking wake up! Holy shit!
Yeah, come on. Spam
We got a
cap.
lot to talk about today.
Yes.
Stab.
Yeah, you know, I hadn't really played Super Adventure Box because I didn't play it when it first came out, but it's actually good.
I seen some of it. It was hilarious. I was watching you guys do the frog, trying to figure out how to beat the frog the first time. Best stream ever.
Yeah, that was
Pure
Yes.
entertainment right there.
Boom. Yeah, Twitch is a little bit broken right now, so just hold on to that. It'll maybe stabilize. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. The bosses are good. I mean,
It's fun. I like it.
Yeah, it is fun. You can kind of see
But
how
I made
they make a raid out of it. Yeah, just make a raid.
A sab raid, yeah, that'd be, I don't know.
Not just a sab
think-
raid, but
I think
just the
DeRoyer said the
mechanics.
other day, it's like a jumping puzzle dungeon, and that's exactly kind of what it feels
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Pretty good description of what it is.
I guess it's with less fighting though, right? Because you don't really fight a lot. I mean, stuff dies in 2
You don't
hits,
have to.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to fight a whole lot except for the bosses at the very end of the zones, which most of them are just like a cage boss with a head that shoots lasers.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then there's a final boss to each world, so the frog and the storm wizard, and
Mm.
the storm wizard's pretty fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty
You
It's
got
a good
you got to
fight.
reflect it back at them, and yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it is a good fight. There's some really good mechanics there. That I have never experienced, but now I have, and it was good. It was great. I had a lot of fun actually. But can I really see myself farming it to get all those times to get all the bauble bubbles? Probably not, honestly. And I kind of
bubble
want the
bubbles?
infusions. Yeah, the bauble bubbles.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm like you. I really, excuse me. I want to do it. I want to try to do it, but I don't know. 16 of each tribulation mode, which is pretty hellish to be quite honest. I think the frustration will get the better of me, but we'll see.
I think once you learn the routes, it's not so bad. But learning the routes and executing it perfectly every time is where the challenge really begins.
By roots, do you mean routes? Or like roots, like ROOTS?
I'm sorry.
It means routes, routes,
I
routes.
See, I don't
I only
know.
speak English, man. I only speak
So
English.
it's a router, not
Yeah.
a router.
All
A
right.
router.
I
Beta.
definitely.
Beta or beta.
Why?
What do you guys say, actually?
Beta.
Beta? So
Beta.
I guess
Beta.
I guess I say beta then, because I'd say what you guys don't say.
Right.
I don't even know at this point.
A boot, a bonnet.
A bonnet?
What do you call this? What's your word for alcoholic?
Poison.
Brazil?
It burns so good.
But Modremoth, you tried. I mean, you were trying to coach us through, but what do you think of our performance? I mean, even you had no idea what you were doing, man. You were just getting lost, just dying.
I mean, you guys were
even
pretty good.
losing to Rex, sometimes in the race to get to the next checkpoint. What is this shit?
I mean, I played longer than Rex. I think Rex really doesn't want to play Super Adventure Box with us anymore.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Is
Yeah.
it too hard for him to keep up with you?
It's not really hard to keep up, but it's really hard for him not to get angry because he didn't have an infinite continue coin.
It was.
Oh.
There was some serious things went a bit awry on Tribulation mode. There was
Ah.
there was some triggering. Rex got triggered. Things happened, and then he left. I don't think he really enjoys jumping puzzles.
No.
But
Yeah, I mean, if you don't like jumping puzzles, you're probably gonna really hate Super Adventure Box.
that is
Yeah,
true.
definitely.
It's
That
a
is
lot
true.
of jumping puzzle stuff.
Yeah, but it's awesome.
But I think the bosses were good, and some of the mechanics, like the ref thing, was also really good. I think they should use that in raids, like something where you're on the move. Because you could have
Yeah.
done that in Spirit Woods with the ghost.
I mean, I think they should do a raid boss that has an arena about 5 times as big as anything we have right now, and it has like pillars and ceilings that it goes up.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Like climbs up the pillars and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's hopefully where they're gonna go, right? Because
Or honestly,
they do
it's
seem
just,
to explore different directions with Wing 2. So
Yeah.
maybe that's next.
They could even make something like Subject Alpha, where it's like a big long dungeon, and then you kill the boss and it gets hurt and it teleports away, and you go to the next part to kill it, and then I don't know, something like that would be fun.
You might as well make it
Transforms
Subject
each time.
Alpha. Just how many Subject Alphas are there, Brazil?
Yeah.
There's so many.
He's a Melandru priest.
Yeah.
They've
This is his
modified.
model, yeah. Oh, it's true. Oh, let's see. Oh, damn! I had something to say, but now it's gone. Feels bad, man. Wow, I fucked that one up. Modremoth, say something. Entertain us.
You want to know? I really think they should use environment more in the raids. Like right now, it's just moving around a little, but they should really use the. Like you should be able to climb up somewhere or go down somewhere. Like I think that would be interesting for a raid where the boss actually moves and doesn't really get guided around by people, but he just moves himself.
I think, realistically, if they had a boss where you're on an airship and it like crawls up a tower and then you shoot it with cannons, I think that would be really fun.
Holy shit, that would be amazing. You mean like Zaitan?
Yeah, like Titan.
But imagine if it was really
Perfect.
good.
Yeah, I mean, he drops down and then like it's just this enormous shit, and he like goes behind a wall and he sticks his head through it like a little mouse coming out of a hole, and he just beat it with a hammer, and then it goes back in.
Implement
That'd be
whack-a-mole into the game as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it still would have been better than the fight we've gotten.
Wait, which one?
Which one? Yeah.
Zaitan fight, I really disliked it.
Oh, the Zaitan fight. Yeah.
I don't think you were alone when you disliked that fight. I was going to throw that out there.
No, it was a great fight. It was a great fight.
I don't know if ArenaNet's ever said, but it definitely feels like Zaitan was just never finished. It's like half of an encounter or something.
Well,
It feels like you were supposed to do the whole cannon thing where you shoot him, and he falls down, and then I think you were supposed to go into a layer. Like that would make more sense
Yes.
to finally kill
There
him.
are parts of the story. I've done the story instance probably 40 times, realistically speaking. And there's a part after you kill the mouth of Zaitan where this like room opens up and all the pack soldiers go into it, and then like there's a POI in there, and there's a POI like right after you kill Zaitan, like off in a different area in this like big circular place. So it's like,
Right.
you know, okay, there's probably supposed to be other stuff,
yeah.
but I
I
guess
fished through
not.
the map there, and there's a point. That point of interest right there is called the layer of the dragon. So there
Yeah.
probably was another phase.
but you know,
I know that
they-
would be super unpopular, but man, I would love them to go back and finish that or something.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but I don't think they're gonna go back and do that.
I think they're busy.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
They're busy.
I mean, that would be
Other things.
that would be a cool like separate, I guess, singular raid instance. We think Zaitan's been dead this whole time, but really he's just chilling in the lair. I mean, unfortunately, that doesn't work because the Priory has his spine hoisted up in their library. But
right.
oh well,
It's actually not the spine, it's his tail they shot off.
his tail, right? Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. It's his tail they
You
shot
gotta
off, right?
watch out, Modremoth. He knows the law.
So
Okay.
then they
His
could,
ass off.
So then that could kind of work. They
Yeah, it
could
could.
kind of say that Zaitan didn't. Although Tequatl technically got more powerful because supposedly his energy was released, right?
yeah, they never
I mean, that's
confirmed it,
the-
but that's the reason.
That's the theory. Yeah.
Yeah. Tequatl, take my energy, said Zaitan.
Well, Jevro has some new art on his
He does.
Twitter page.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah, he
good.
does.
Yeah, one eye is way higher than the other, but other than that, it's pretty solid. And it looks like he has shells growing out of his ear. But
That's
I'm
his
really
headphones.
critical. Sorry.
There you go. How would you improve it?
I'd move the other eye down and make it look like he doesn't have shells growing out of his ear.
There you go. But no, it
Wow.
actually it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Is the eye actually? Wow. But maybe
I
that
am
eye
less-
is going to make him look like kind
I'm
of
a,
edgy.
I'm a C at star T. Thank you.
Yeah. But hey, wink. Wow.
Wow.
Wink. Oh, hang on.
There we go.
Oh wait, I'm not even sure how this is going to work in this new amazing setup.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah,
no, it works
probably-
perfectly.
Oh, nice.
Nah.
Good.
Now I'm waiting for the delay so I can see it.
Yeah, the delay is probably massive because of all the crazy shit
Yeah.
that's going on with Twitch right now. So you might have to wait
Oh,
until the end of
seeing
the
it.
stream.
A half hour?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So Modremoth, you're joining us here today. What do you want to talk about?
They're suspending work on further Stronghold maps, and they're going to focus on Conquest again.
That is true,
What?
actually. That
Did
is
they
true.
say that?
Yeah,
They
they said that.
Yes,
When?
that did happen.
I
I
did
totally
happen.
missed that. When
Yeah.
was this said?
They said it on the
Here we go.
forums, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was Thursday that they said it.
Mm.
I think it's a mistake.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
I'm not. Well,
Somebody
we're
put
not.
somebody put the link in chat so I can go see it wherever it's at.
Someone will have it because I believe it was actually.
Oh, for
It
fuck's
was
sakes.
someone who asked about it was from
I,
if I recall correctly, and we did actually get a
They had-
response on it.
They had a whole like beta test stuff for Stronghold, and they were so hyped for it, and it was fun. It was cool. I enjoyed it, and like they worked on it for a long time. I don't understand. I don't understand the let's do a project and then let's just not finish it. But I would see it through. I would definitely see it through.
I mean, the problem with
Stronghold-
Stronghold is that they
Go
haven't really focused on it.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely needs more time. It needs more resources. It needs more love in order to make Stronghold better than what it currently is. Don't get me wrong. Stronghold is not perfect, but I know I'm in the minority, but I really like Stronghold. I really like that game mode over Conquest. I realize it's not perfect, and I realize maybe it's not quite as competitive because you're relying on some PVE aspects or whatever, but I think if they developed it more, if they put more time into it, I think it could be much more enjoyable to watch than Conquest currently is.
Yep.
I don't like Stronghold, but I don't like it less than Conquest.
Why don't you like it? What?
I just don't like PvP.
Oh.
Like, I don't think it even fits in this game, honestly. PvP and PvE games, I just don't think. I mean, I consider Guild Wars 2 a PvE game. I mean, that's what it is, I think. But, I don't know, PvP, I guess they like it, and I guess they're going to push it. And they probably have, well, they definitely have access to statistics that I don't have, but...
Is it because of all the crazy visual noise? I mean, I have to admit that it's kind of annoying.
No, it's that, like, you just look at it and you don't understand what's happening. Like, it's not even the visual noise. Like, it's just like, okay. Like, players just fighting other players. It's just confusing to watch in this game, I think.
So I'm reading what Grouch wrote here, and he says, Stronghold definitely isn't going anywhere, but our priority right now is Conquest, both old and new. So that's not as bad, and I realize that there's similarities there, but that's not as bad as saying it's indefinitely on hold like Legendaries.
Sure.
Like, it'll get looked at before Legendaries, probably. At least I freaking hope so.
Yeah.
I guess to put into better words, it's like when you're fighting a boss or whatever, you can follow what's happening because it does this. It's big, first of all. Bosses are enormous. They're much bigger than the player character models. Like stuff like Gorseval and Lupicus are like 15 times as big. And like he puts his arms up in the air and then there's a huge orange circle and you know what's happening. You see everybody run over here and then jump off and whatever. You can understand what's going on with the boss fight even if you don't know what's happening in the game. And that's the same thing with Dungeon. Subject Alpha, again, just randomly. Like, you can tell he's about to do something. Everybody dodges at the same time. He jumps and puts someone in a crystal, and it's like, ah, fuck. In PvP, it's just like you have two people just fighting and doing stuff, and you don't know what's happening. Like, there's a point there, and you understand, okay, they're fighting for this. Or there's a team fight, and you just can't tell what's happening at all. Like, it's just a clusterfuck of just, like, spam and attacks. And we've mentioned this before. Stuff like Rebound has an enormous tell. It's huge. It takes up like half the screen. And then stuff like Corrupt Boon, there's nothing. You just point your finger. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I don't. The combat system is nice. I just think that the way attacks are telegraphed and like how fast paced and stuff PVE is, it's fights aren't really long unless you're in the bunker mesmer meta.
I mean, that is true for sure. But I mean, that's kind of fairly similar in a lot of other respects. I mean, in WoW, it's reasonably popular. I mean, but they have arena, so I guess it is a bit different. They don't typically have objective-based stuff. But I mean, I watched an arena tournament. I had no idea what the fuck was going on to a certain extent, and that's because I don't even know what the abilities really look like, right?
Sure.
It's kind of hard to see. Well, I haven't played WoW for a year now, probably, so I'm not familiar with it at all. So I mean, so it's definitely possible, but maybe is it the objective thing that's the problem? Because I mean, in that case, Stronghold will be really good because it's incredibly obvious what's going on in that regard, right? You have to go down the lanes, kill the Lord.
I don't really think it's the objectives. I think it's the visual noise and that you don't have any idea what's going on. You don't know who is using which skill. And outsiders don't really want to learn that.
Even if there was no visual noise, like I just don't think it's interesting to watch. Like if you watch like a shooter or something, like CS:GO that has 800,000 viewers right now apparently, like there are people with guns and they're killing each other. I mean, it's easy to follow that. In Guild Wars 2, it's like there are 8 different things doing different things, and they're fighting in a little circle. Okay, like they capture point. It's just objectives. I don't think objectives are interesting or fun or any. I think just killing people is more interesting. Roman gladiator fights didn't have objective capturing.
That is
people
true.
went in and killed each other.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right, that's why you mix in the MOBA and you bring Stronghold, right? Esports! Because suddenly you have a very clear objective, so you can focus less on the fight and what's going on with the breakers. I mean it's really obvious because you can see the health bars of the little fellas, the rats. You can see if they're going to die, and you can see, the Lord is very well displayed. It's got its little circular health bar and the downstate and so on. I think the only thing that would kind of fuck with people is teleporting the Lord with search and rescue and stealthing it and stuff. So, there's some aspects of it that would kind of confuse people a little bit. But I mean, to a certain extent, that's why Stronghold needs maybe even its own balance system, honestly. Because
and PVE does too, but that's a whole other thing.
Because right now healing is just ridiculously good in Stronghold, and so is Dragon Hunter. Even though Dragon Hunter isn't a problem in Conquest, this is the thing. If you make Dragon Hunter worse, say so it's better in worse in Stronghold rather, then it's kind of crappy in Conquest, and that's a serious problem, right? But because the Doorbreakers don't have a brain, they just run straight into that shit. They can't deal with that. And they run through the stuff you're not supposed to run through, but whatever. That's just a bit of a problem. Guys, we've got to make a bet. How long is it going to be before they switch to separate PvE and PvP balance? It's going to happen.
I don't think they will.
It's going to happen.
I think it might happen after the spring quarterly patch. I think they might do it in summer.
I don't think they're ever going to do it.
Really?
Honestly.
If they're going to do it, it won't be until the next raid wing. I don't think anything's going to change until the first year of seasons is over and the first raid wing is totally complete. I just don't think they have the resources to focus on that kind of stuff right now. Because splitting those two things means, at least to me, it means you should probably put more people on that balance team. I have no idea how many people are on the balance team, but if you're splitting it, that means a lot more work for whatever that team is than it currently does. And I'm all for that. I absolutely want it to be split for PvP and PvE. I think it should be split, but that's something that ArenaNet has talked about before. About at least right now, they don't want to do that. So, I don't know. We'll see. It just, I don't know. It kind of stinks. Yeah. I would love there to be balance for raids PvE, and balance for PvP.
I'm not sure if this is troll. Guys, help me out. Is this troll? I think Necro needs to be buffed for raids. They don't see enough play. That's troll, right?
That's troll.
Considering I know him, I would assume.
Alright, okay.
But at the same time, like these like ultra elite speed clear dungeon guilds that are setting raid records now don't really use Necros.
Oh.
But for casual play, if you consider raids casual play, Necros are really good, and they do a lot of damage. Like with now that I have my full set of Viper's gear, I'm getting 20k bleed stacks on like Veil Guardian phase. Ticks, I guess I should say, instead of tax.
Tactics.
Yeah, it's just like when you're hitting 20k bleed ticks with like poison and stuff, or when you're on Matthias and you're hitting 15k bleed ticks, and you also hit like 10k burn ticks, and you also hit like 15k poison ticks.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, alright. Okay.
Yeah. When you Plague Signet in, 30 stacks of poison, that is a good day.
Yeah.
That is a good day for the Necromancer on Matthias. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And obviously the minions just going crazy. And you don't even see how much DPS is being generated by a lot of your lifesteal as well. Because it doesn't show up on your meter, it shows up on other people's meters.
Or the combat log, which is completely broken, but that's another thing. So,
community run 5v5 and 2v2 tournaments. Why is Mystic Builds not listed here? Because it's not a 5v5 or a 2v2 tournament.
You were working on 2v2, right?
That is true, actually. But, yeah, it's not there. Because it's not any of those things. But there you go, there's that question answered. Yeah, someone used Trev, I'm retarded so I can't use it properly. Yeah, I did say that. It's because I don't really like trebuchets in this game, honestly, but whatever. Some people do.
I don't think they belong in Stronghold at all.
Really?
I find them to be...
I personally find the trebuchet just really obnoxious as a concept.
I think Stronghold should have Siege, like World versus World, and no trebs.
Yeah, they should have arrow cards instead. I think that would give for some more interesting plays.
Flame rams for the gates.
Or burning oil.
Well, if you have flame ram for the gates, then you don't need the minions, really, right?
No, I don't think you need that.
Yeah.
I think you can get away with just having the breakers and the archers. I don't know how you make archers good. Honestly, in Stronghold, I think it's a really big.
It's not even a good TV show.
Hey.
So
I haven't even seen it. I can't even comment. I can't defend the show.
Not worth watching.
Not worth watching?
No.
Why don't you like it, Brazil?
Well, part of the reason is because I don't really like anything, according to a lot of people. But the other reason is because the humor is juvenile, as is the animation, and it's just not. It's not a good experience. I think. I don't know. There's only. I mean, realistically, there's only one good movie and one good music album, and there are no good TV shows. So, the only good movie is Clear and Present Danger, and the only good album is Johnny Cash live at Folsom Prison. So, I mean, everything else is just bad. Those are examples of perfection, and perfection that will never be achieved again. So,
okay.
There you go. But what about raids?
yeah, they're okay.
Do they? How close are they to a comparison? A perfection.
I mean, they're better than all the other content in Guild Wars 2, in my opinion. I mean, there's other stuff I've enjoyed in Guild Wars 2, obviously, because I've played it so long. But I think raids are probably the best thing they've ever done. But I also realize that not very many people do raids, and even less people complete raids, and even less people farm raids. So, I don't know. Brazil, do you like Yu-Gi-Oh? Yes.
So that's another
but
thing?
it's not a good game. It's not a good game. But I like it.
Far from perfection.
Yeah.
It's not a resource management game.
Not as
the only games that are good are resource management games. Speaking specifically about like card games and tabletop games.
Oh.
So
It's like playing Revenant.
Yeah, like playing Revenant.
If Revenant was a card game, I guess it's kind of like cards. You flip a card and then you turn into the other legend, right? Revenant is a card
No.
game.
Not at all.
No?
No.
Oh shit! Did I just trigger your lore radar? Am I in trouble?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Never
like
mind.
Revenant as from lore perspective.
Oh really? You should actually explain
not?
it. Do it.
I actually think that Revenant was just shoehorned in for the GW1 fans. Like, the mechanics on it are fine, but I don't think they need to bring back specifically the lore people. You could have just made it assassin stance and defender stance or some shit like that, but don't actually go fuck with GW1 lore just because you want to shoehorn it in.
I have to address this question. Cyan says monsters which you have to offer as tribute are a resource. You don't do that anymore. That mechanic of the game is almost irrelevant. Like, unless you're playing monarchs, you don't tribute anything. So, I don't know. Yeah, Hearthstone, you have to manage mana crystals, but Hearthstone
Sort of.
also doesn't have physical cards, so it's not good either. I don't know. This isn't really Guild Wars 2.
No.
Nah, but I mean,
Hearthstone has Hearthstone. I can't help myself. Triggered. Hearthstone has a problem. Hearthstone's problem is that there's no instant response to things your opponent is doing. So you take a turn, I take a turn. You take a turn, I take a turn. There's no you take a turn and you try to do something and I stop you. Hearthstone lacks that, and that is what really like annoys the heck. I don't hate Hearthstone, but that annoys the heck out of me about Hearthstone. If Teapot takes his turn and he does something crazy that's going to kill me, I can do nothing to stop him. So Hearthstone is a little bit more like chess in the sense that you have to think moves ahead to set yourself up to try and win or stop what your opponent's doing, rather than have an immediate response to what they're doing.
you guys played Duelist or heard of Duelist?
No.
Because
I played it.
Cyan
Bought it.
brought it up, and I don't know. You might like it. It is turn-based, so it does suffer the same problems as Hearthstone, but instead of just kind of two sides, it's like a bit like a chessboard. All your cards are actually pieces, and they can move around and stuff. And there's a lot about positioning and stuff. That makes it a little bit more complicated than Hearthstone.
Limon, I
I've
know that
assembled all
chess is
5
an
cards.
RNG.
All 5 pieces of the puzzle. Exodia.
I said it was kind of like chess in the think ahead strategy, not that
Right.
it's an exact copy of it.
Yeah, it's Hearthstone is just a chess ripoff. Come on, Inks, you know that.
Sure, yeah, it's just like chess.
Talk about in movies like the new Batman. Oh my god,
Sucks.
I was disappointed.
Best
Sorry,
movie
I
ever.
really-
Universal.
Honestly, all right. So when I see movies, or when I do literally anything, my approach to it is to go in and think about all of the good things it did, all of the things it did correctly. And then as I move forward, I think back on it and I think, wow, it really fucked this up, or wow, this was bad. And so I usually come away from it disliking it more than I wanted to initially like it because of the things I saw that it did. Batman v Superman, the more I think back about it, the more I really don't have any problems with it. I don't think it was a bad movie.
I don't think it was a bad movie.
I think it was just fine, realistically.
yeah, but I was kind
think-
of hoping it would be really good.
Yeah. I was hoping for that too.
I tell you what though, Ben Affleck. I don't like Ben Affleck, and this is why
What?
it pains me to say that he did a really good job as Batman.
Yeah.
You don't
excellent
love
Batman.
Ben Affleck?
No, I don't. But he was a really good Batman. If you just cut out
He
all
was.
the parts with Batman, you just put that together. Now that is good.
Yeah,
That's a
he
good
did a
film.
pretty good job with Batman.
Yeah.
A very different Batman. Without spoiling anything, because I know Jebro doesn't want spoilers. Without spoiling anything, he did.
Jebro, fuck off. You've had plenty of time.
He played a very different Batman than people are used to seeing, and I
Yes.
think it came across well overall.
Yeah.
A Batman that is old and tired and realizes that he just needs to get the job done.
There you go.
Pretty much. Although I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the plot contrivances. Honestly, fuck you, Neckbeard. XD.
Oh, you can't even see 'cause my hand was in the way.
Cut it off on stream. It's the only way.
No.
No.
But the deleted scene from Batman vs Superman was actually pretty good and sets up the future franchise. The communion
Yeah.
scene.
The mother boxes.
They want to
Yeah.
go. They want to go all Marvel on this shit, don't they? They want to get
Except
those
they
movies
suck
going.
at it.
Yeah.
They want to
The
go Marvel,
problem-
except they're freaking terrible at going
I know.
Marvel.
And that's the problem, because they want to go Marvel, and Marvel is already so far ahead that they had to do like 5 arcs in one movie to be able to catch up to
Terrible.
it.
Terrible.
Yeah.
So,
That
I mean,
is true.
they literally have to go straight into Justice League. So they had to do the death of Superman. They had to do all that shit in one movie to
Ooh.
be able to catch up.
That's
Oh
a big
no, I
spoiler.
just spoiled the death of Superman. Whoops.
Oh, wow.
Don't worry, he will back for the first.
I don't know
Justice
what.
League movie.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's now it's been spoiled. It's kind of whatever. It is barely a spoiler because it's like, well, they're not actually gonna kill him, right? It's just that's not how
Of
it
course
works. So you
course
know,
not.
whatever. But there you go. Ah, yeah.
Sells movies just like it sells comic books.
Exactly. But they just bring him back. Hey, this is actually what I remembered. I didn't notice this. I don't know how. Well, I don't know how I didn't remember this. I guess Sab really didn't rub off on me at all. But inside the Super Adventure box, there are bee dogs. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What
Frank
Zach?
is bees.
Zach is banned. Zach is banned from the game. Okay. What meme did he create? He created the Franca bee. Okay.
That's been in the game way longer than Zach's
Exactly.
been.
It's
Yeah.
in the game. So he's sending us a sign. He's trapped in the
No,
Super
it's been in the
Adventure
game
box.
since.
He's trapped in the
Exactly.
Super Adventure box.
Yeah, they put him in there. He can't ever leave. That's the problem. It's obvious. Why else? Franca B, he gets banned. He's in there forever. This is at about the time where they would have been re-preparing SAB for launch. That they put him in there forever. Maybe he's singing somewhere. There's a secret, and you can just find his kind of dead body. Just resonate.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There you go. It's true.
So does that mean we have to wait for another YouTuber to get banned to get World 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. But anyway, do we have anything else to talk about? We really don't.
April's patch.
Oh!
the
Yu-Gi-Oh movie is coming out.
Borderlands
on the 23rd.
and
Yeah. I was quite sad that they
Yeah,
didn't
Fractal.
do.
deleting
There
the
was
Borderlands.
there was no April Fool's joke.
well,
There
so there
were
was
patch
the
notes.
April Fool's patch notes, which
Yeah.
I enjoyed.
I
liked
did
those.
actually enjoy those. Those were entertaining. Fixed a
And
bug where
they-
warriors could kill people in PvP.
And the SAB coming back, that was their April thing this year, I guess.
I mean, I think the game is a joke right now, so maybe that was the joke.
Harsh.
Wow. I think he said that for meme purposes.
Maybe Mo was. Maybe what they would have done is that Mo would say that legendaries are suspended, and then on April Fools he's just like, just kidding, guys. We got all 16 of them done.
That
And then
That would have been a risky play, a big balls play by ArenaNet. But if they'd done that, that would have been really fucking good. They should have done that.
that's why I should work for ArenaNet.
Yeah, you'd have set that up, Modremoth.
Sure.
Everyone would be really triggered. Everyone would be really pissed. And then boom, it's all fine. It would be even better.
Yeah, I had thought that I was pretty sure that SAB was going to come back this year from the post that Gale had a couple of weeks ago and some other hints that were laying about. And I wanted them to troll the day before. Unfortunately, it was into the API and people kind of pulled it out right away.
Yeah.
But I wanted them to sell like the Infinite Continue coin the day before for 24 hours and then like take it away and then release like, did I say Thunk? I don't know what the hell I said.
Thunk?
Instant replay. But, and then bring SAB like the next day or two. Don't bring it out on the 1st, but like delay it a day or so.
That would have been funny. But I think they're scared of trolling now. They won't
Yeah,
do it
well,
anymore. Because
gotta be
of,
careful.
what happens when people react, you know? They won't troll. Feels bad, man.
The community
Oh,
can't
yep.
take a joke, so
Yeah,
people really got triggered with the airplanes last year.
I did.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they can't take a joke. I think
Because
that's
it's
because
annoying.
they already get trolled hard enough by indefinite suspensions. But I don't know.
That is unfortunate, but with Living World 3 is on the horizon now. Aha.
Well,
Kind
3
of.
months from now.
Well, that's kind of the horizon.
April is the horizon. The mid to late April patch is the horizon.
So it's the horizon beyond the horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about that,
Which
Modremoth?
they-
Are you hyped for Living World 3?
I'm not hyped for it. Because I think you need to have a good setup to make a good story, and I don't think Heart of Thorns was that setup.
Are you not interested, from a lore perspective, are you not interested to find out what's going to be the wrap-up of Modremoth dying, the egg consuming the power, is the Pale Tree okay, where's Garm, etc., etc.?
I mean, I think the Garm story is kind of over. I think he went off somewhere. I don't think they're gonna mention him again. As for the Pale Tree, we know she's in trouble. We know that her roots have been attacked and that she's not really feeling well. And the egg, I really don't care about Glyn's legacy. Like
Why not?
the only interesting twist would be for the Exalted to actually be the Mersat and they keep the egg from us. But I'm not really interested in Glyn's legacy.
So why is it that you don't care about the egg? I'm interested.
Well, I think in Living Season 2, I think the egg was set up pretty well. And then we had Kate
What,
steal
you
it. And I,
mean Deus Ex MacGuffin?
well,
MacGuffin.
I think when the Severide Sectum came around for the first time, I don't think they really wanted to go in the direction of having the egg. And then when it came out the second time around, they wanted to have the egg in there. But Kate basically stole it for no reason, and that's when I lost interest in it.
So you don't buy. So I guess you're saying you don't buy the reasoning as to why she stole the egg.
Yeah. Well, did they give any reason for why she took the egg?
I think they set it up so that Kaith feels like she has to be the protector of the egg.
I mean, we don't know. Because the story writing is just, I don't think it's very good. It's very hard to figure out what's happening. Like, you have to, I don't know. I'll just settle down. Because there are a lot of shots I want to take with comparing it to other things that are also poorly written, but I'll just hold off. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised we didn't have like Holy Spirits or 40-page monologues. So I'll just leave it at that. Or Railroad Empires. Or Architects. So.
Keith is just a dirty egg napper.
But I mean, the story they set up with Kate is that she knows the secret of the Sylvari, and I think they should have played into that more. Instead of just, oh yeah, every Sylvari is evil.
Well, and what kind of kills me a little bit is the mother knows that Kaith knows the true intention of the Sylvari, or the true, purpose of them. But yet the tree gives us the vision that we're supposed to take care of the egg. So wouldn't she communicate that with Kaith? Obviously, she doesn't communicate that with Kaith at all, because then she steals the egg from us. But
No, I think the reason they killed the Pale Tree off, or at least made her not speak that much, is because otherwise she would be the lore bomb. She would be telling that the Sylvari were evil and what Kate's mission was. And I just think the story writing is falling a bit flat, to be honest.
I mean, what can be concerning is how much of the story do you guys think they're going to try and deliver in the next kind of burst of story? And how many of those arcs? How many of those arcs are they going to pursue? Because it really does depend how much there is, obviously, but I don't know what to expect actually. Maybe well we'll get some optimism from from some of you guys, and then Brazil can tear us down maybe. But I honestly have no idea how much content to expect. Just help me out here, guys. I don't have a clue.
In what? I wasn't paying attention.
In the story.
In the story.
For Living World Season 3, when we finally get it, because now we know instead of 2-week stories with breaks, we're going to get story every, 3 months or so in a block. So that begs the question, are we going to get 3 months worth of story? Because I really don't think that's the case at all.
No, I don't think there's going to be very much. I think there's going to be at most, I would be surprised if there's more than 2 hours of story.
How many chapters do you think? If every 2 weeks was a chapter, how many chapters do you think?
Oh, I think there. Have you ever read the book Holes?
I have.
I am using that as an example because a lot of kids read that when they were young. So, Holes is a book that's about this thick, and it has decently sized text, and there are 50 something chapters in it, and chapters are 2 pages long. So if there are 20 chapters in the new Living Story episode, whatever, I don't think they'll be very long. I think it'll be do a simple quest to do X thing, or maybe spread that out over 3 chapters, and there's just not much content. It'll be go to this small location in this map that's not very big and dig out something out of a chest. And then now go take that thing in the chest to this thing, and now go put it in a hole, and oh god, there's a boss. And kill the boss. And now something's been revealed and we have to go do this again. The first Assassin's Creed game, it was all just doing the same shit and there wasn't a whole lot to do. And you figured that out pretty quick, but they got better about changing that as they went along. But I just don't anticipate that happening here. I would really be surprised if there's a whole lot to do. Just because looking at how it's gone in the past, that's all I have to base it off of. They just run around and interact with signposts, and then whenever they actually start putting content into it, or boss fights that are pretty decent, like that dragon thing right before you go into the Golden City at the end of season 2 or whatever. That was pretty interesting. But there's not a whole lot of build up, and all of the build up is condensed into one tiny area, and it's just there's really nothing happening. So the Heart of Thorn story, it was okay, we're gonna start out in this part of the map, and we'll do 5 quests in a tiny area around it. Now we're going to run into the next map, and we'll do something at the beginning of it, and now we'll run all the way across it and do something there. We'll ignore all of the stuff in the middle of the map, whatever. Yes, and then there's just nothing. It's a lack of content trying to be hidden behind dialogue and cutscenes that are also poorly written, and characters that are also poorly written. There's just I don't know if it's because they aren't able to develop it because there's not enough time. I don't know if it's because there aren't many people on the team, or there are people that are on the team that maybe shouldn't be on the team. I don't know what the problem is. I just know that there's a very big, glaring problem that's been happening and going on for a really long time, ever since run up and down this path and interact with signposts.
Well, in Living World 1, there was definitely this very large problem of pacing. The pacing in Living World 1 was pretty bad. And I think they realized that about halfway through. Unfortunately, when they work on these Living World, whether it was 2 weeks or not, or current state, everything is planned out long in advance. So, Living World 3 that they're working on now, by the time we get it, we'll already be working into the next 2 or something. Those are being developed ahead of time. So when we get something and we receive it negatively or it's poor, it's almost too late to fix it then, because they're already 2 steps ahead of themselves, and going back and fixing it, there's not enough time to do that and then release on their 2-week cadence schedule. That's not the case now because they got 3 months, but that's the case that it used to be. And so pacing for Living World 1 was really bad. You had 2 weeks of fixing signposts with really nothing to do. and then there was like the whole radar thing that you had to hunt down, and the pacing was very bad. But once you got to the actual meat of Living World 1, the marionettes and the Scarlet fight and the destruction of LA, etc., a lot of that stuff was much better than the beginning of Living World 1. It took forever to get there because the pacing was so off. And then Living World 2, the pacing was slightly better, but then you had like a lot of 2-week stories and then like a 2-month break or a month break or however long that period was, and then more story. And then it ended and we didn't get anything for a year waiting for Heart of Thorns.
The thing is with Living Season 1 was that the last 4 patches were completely different from what they delivered to us previously.
Very true.
And they were it was kind of a story of its own. Like we built up Scarlet, and Scarlet was actually just a character that we had. And then they did something with her in the last 4 patches that I think Living Story, the 4 last patches, was one of the best patches this game has ever had, with the marionette and with the attack on Lion Sarge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the problem.
What I think they should have done is, rather than have all of these things of building signs and whatever, they should have had a completely separate story in that first half, whatever that story is. But underlining that story, have these hints that lead you to, like, hints at who Scarlet is or what Scarlet is or whatever. But a lot of that didn't really happen properly, or it didn't happen in any kind of exciting, meaningful way. So the build-up was extremely slow, fairly unexciting, and then you get to the end where it was actually, a lot of people actually kind of enjoyed that. And when people look back on Living World 1, a lot of people forget all of the 2 weeks of building signs and 2 weeks of fixing radars and trying to figure out why the Dredge are working, who they're working for, and whatever, because that was all very slow and poorly paced.
And then they had the Molten Facility dungeon, and I loved it. I thought it was incredible. I thought it was honestly pretty challenging for considering like what was happening at the time. Like, it actually made me think about playing and like think about mechanics. It was good. There's time gating in it, sure, and it could have done without that. But honestly, it was pretty good. I would rate it like a solid 8 out of 10, realistically, and that's pretty high. Whereas I would rate the rest of the story like probably a 3 out of 10, like, if that. So, I mean, I don't know. Like you said, there are 2-month breaks in between stuff, so I don't know, like, why that is. I don't know why it takes them that long to write a story that's just not good.
I don't know if it's always. I don't know that it's always writing the story.
No, I know. They may be like they may be taking personal days. I don't know. I don't have any insight into the company. I don't know what they do. I don't know how they allocate resources. I don't know what the bureaucracy is like. I just know that as a consumer, looking onto it, it looks like they're just not doing anything. Like, that's a very real perspective, and that's one that you have to take into consideration. Because if that's me, if that's someone who has played the game for 9,000 hours, like, how does just, like, Joe on Reddit, or, I don't know, Jolena on Reddit, that just upvote threads occasionally and have played the game for, like, 600 hours, like, what do they think? I don't know.
Unfortunately, I think in some of those circumstances, Living World Season 1, even Living World Season 2, unfortunately, I think that those stories and those missions shine better for people who play the game less. They're not quite as invested in 9,000 hours or 5,000 hours or, thousands of hours, basically. So when they log on, like, once or twice a week to play for a couple of hours, to them, that probably feels like a ton of content, a ton of story to play through and experience. For those of us who play the MMO on a more regular basis, or who are veterans of the game for 2 to 3 years, whatever the case is, I think it's easier for us to see, like, hey, there's really not as much here as you really think there is.
Mm. There are ways to flesh it out, though. I mean, there are
for sure, yeah,
a whole bunch of achievements for the other instances that already exist in the game, right?
Yeah.
And you can maybe go for some really difficult ones, right? or what, you know, I mean, you have the challenge modes, but you can still solo those, so maybe you replace dungeons with these new instances that are, you know, make them really hard and need 5 people, right? And then,
Get unskippable cutscenes.
and then you put fun. Oh yeah, the cutscene thing, because I was playing some Guild Wars 2, and there I was trying to complete all the achievements. Okay, and some of the more annoying ones that were kind of pissing me off. The main thing that was triggering me was, as Modremoth says, the fact that you cannot skip the cutscenes, especially the Kaith ones where you play as Kaith. They're just so annoying. It's just because you have to go through the whole thing, and the NPCs have to do their stupid shit and talk and be annoying, and then the achievements are kind of bullshit, and it's really annoying to do. And it's, oh my god, no. Some of them were definitely pretty good though. Some of them were pretty fun to do. But
there's definitely a lot of cutscenes in the game where they need to add a skip option for those cutscenes.
Yes.
Not just living story, doing the Molten Duo all the time. You gotta sit through the damn cutscene, and yeah, there's a lot of cutscenes in the game that don't have a skippable option, and they really need to just add that in there. I don't need to. Watching it once or twice, maybe, but every single time, no thanks.
Yep.
Especially if you're trying to do, like you said, Teapot, if you're trying to do a particular achievement and you screw up like 2 seconds into the achievement for some reason, and you got to replay the whole thing, oh my gosh.
Yeah. The pain is real.
Did you guys find the Heart of Thorn story lacking?
Yes.
Yeah.
I found
The short answer is definitely yes.
I think my biggest problem with it was the character dialogue, and also that there wasn't enough of it.
Yes.
And I don't know, the way that you have to treat certain characters. I mean, we talk about this all the time. Whenever this always gets brought up. But the kind of the way your character acts is basically an asshole, and I don't like that.
Like Kaith was your friend, right? Totally your friend. She steals the egg, and you're like, we must murder her. There's no other solution.
But I mean, that's kind of something that I also wanted to discuss. Like they said at the beginning of Heart of Thorns that we would have a lot of choices. I've only counted 2. And the first one was at the very first mission. That's probably to get people hyped. And then the second to last mission, when you free either Soja or Logan, is a choice. For the rest, you don't have a choice.
Realistically, the reason that's probably, and they made a big deal about how there'd be choices. They probably just didn't have the time or resources to implement it, like so much other stuff. It's just like, we can't do it. We want to do it, but sorry, we can't. And it's like, okay.
But it doesn't really matter. You shouldn't have choices that really affect the story. But like Teapot says, you're an asshole to everyone, to Kanak and to Kate specifically.
Yeah.
Why can't you just add a dialogue option where it's like, oh, it's alright, Kate, you betrayed us, but we're still cool.
And is it I don't know, has anyone played through it with a Sylvari? Are you still an asshole even if you are a Sylvari? Because surely
you're not an asshole.
You're not?
Yes.
You're not an asshole to Connect, but I think you're still an asshole to Kate.
Oh, okay.
Well, you still are kind of a jerk to Kanak. Your character just refuses to forgive Kanak. Like, you put him in jail.
Yeah.
His bond was bought. He helped you out and stuff, and you're still like, you don't trust him. You don't like him very much.
If we're being honest with ourselves here, did Kanak do anything wrong?
No.
I mean, really? Was he really that bad that we had to mess him up that badly, and he's just this piece of shit, and he has to pay for his crimes? Did he really do anything that bad?
I mean,
well, it's one of those things. It's like the Punisher story, right? Where Punisher is killing the bad guys, but he's still murdering people regardless of their crimes. So ethically, yeah, he needs to go to jail and pay for his crimes, but hey, you still silently cheer him on because they deserve it, right?
Yeah.
And Kanak's the same way.
That whole approach.
I know, but Kanak is kind of the same way, right? He took revenge, basically, because they screwed him over. And it's like, well, you still need to go to jail, even if I agree with you, bud.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the case with Kanak.
and then he gets out of prison, and you treat him like a prisoner regardless
Yeah, I know.
of his reform.
He's he did his thing. He's out now. He's kind of still paying it back in a certain respect because he's helping us out and shit. Where rather he'd prefer to be in the vape nation, ripping the biggest vape.
But that's also a thing. Countess Anise kind of bought his ballot, so he's kind of under Countess Anise, but he's following us. And I think in the story they actually said go with the pact and go with Rehern to him, but somehow he ended up with us.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. To be fair, he is the kind of guy who would just do that shit anyway. He knows that if you hang around the pact, you just die anyway. So he's just gonna come hang out with us. Maybe he's kind of a bit fourth wally. He realizes that if you hang out with a protagonist, you never really die. Unless you're Tybalt.
Yeah, characters that break the fourth wall are just incredible.
Do you mean incredibly bad or incredibly good?
I mean, you can see by his look, he's not really...
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you love Deadpool, don't you? You really enjoyed that film.
There is one character that broke the fourth wall correctly and did it well, and that was Mordekaiser in League of Legends.
That's the one where he tells you only need to click once, fool. I like Mordekaiser. He's a good champion in League of Legends. Great champ.
Yep. Spell boots and 6 gun blades. That was the time. That was back in the day when it was good.
Scrub.
I don't know when they added this, but...
Yeah, you just hack an extra item. Go ahead, Modremoth.
There's an NPC in Rathazoom that talks about the social experiment.
What? The social experiment?
What's his name?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna check. I'm
Shit. He
loading into Rathazoom right now.
Yeah, we have to wait
I
for
hope
this.
it's Ethan Bradbury.
It's just a prank, bro. It's just a prank.
Oh, where's she at?
Yeah.
No. I don't hate Fallout 1 and 2 at all. Fallout 1 and 2 are incredible games. Like, realistically, Frank Horrigan is the best character that's ever been in any video game. I'm sorry,
Wow.
he is.
I
High
just remember
praise.
that.
There's this constant struggle of Frank Horrigan's supposed to be really stupid and he just mimics stuff, or Frank Horrigan's actually kind of intelligent but he's just indoctrinated, and then it's just like there's so much conflict happening, like with how you feel about him and like the approach to him and stuff. It's nuts, like his behavior, like the way he acts. Like, does he know if he's a mutant or not? Like, it's awesome. Like, Leggett Linnaeus was close. Like, that was a very good character. But Frank Horrigan was better. Frank Horrigan's the best character that's ever been in any video game. So,
Did you buy their DLC for Fallout 4?
Yeah.
People were asking. I haven't even played it yet, to be honest. I'm still doing other crap. I get one of those weird sidetrack people in Fallout 4 that just collects all kinds of crap and builds whatever.
I'm not going to play it until the creation kit comes out. I'm just waiting for all of that.
What do you think? Totally not Guild Wars 2, but whatever. What do you think about the stuff on the survival mode they're revamping?
It's a good start. It's a very good start to it, but there needs to be stuff like headshots, one kill, everything. And I think I remember reading about that, honestly, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you have like a 50 caliber rifle and it takes 8 hits to a super mutant's head to kill it. What?
Yeah.
So, like, but that would also include, obviously, if you get shot in the head, dead. It's just over. Like, so,
But I have a helmet.
yeah, if you have power
gonna
armor,
save
then
you.
obviously. But
It looks like it's going to be pretty fun to play the new survival mode. We'll see.
yeah. One problem that I've been reading about a whole lot is that you constantly have to eat and drink food and water because the day-night cycle is so fast in game, and it's like day-based, so you have to just like spam it all the time. So don't know.
That is kind
Did
of
you find your NPC, Modremoth?
Yeah, his name is... Let me just check real quick. Paovi or some shit like that. He's having a social experiment with 2 golems.
Golem prank gone violent, gone sexual, gone wrong. In the jungle, where they belong.
No, sure belong underground.
Well, I guess they actually do, right?
Yeah. Should go back there and not become a playable race.
Yeah. Just put mouse traps out. They'll just kill themselves.
I guess we could talk about the. What do you think they're going to do to restructure 1 to 50?
Fractals?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, but they're supposed to do something with the 19th.
Do we really need to address how they were supposed to do something and then they didn't?
I mean, they're retiring those achievements. You won't be able to do them anymore. And they talked about restructuring fractals. And I assume it's for 1 to 50 because those are the achievements going away.
Maybe they have.
I'm not expecting anything fractal related.
But what can they do?
Leaderboards.
But I mean, what can they do? How can they
so-
restructure it? What are they going to do to restructure it?
Take out, make less swamp.
Less swamp, which they're supposed to. There was an ArenaNet developer or employee post on Reddit about someone said something about swamp, trying to make it difficult or better or something, and he was like, challenge accepted. Somebody said, well, does that mean that you're just going to remove it? And he had said, or this person had said that they're not going to remove any swamps, or they're not going to remove any of the fractals. So maybe just less swamps plus some kind of rework to make swamp different somehow. I don't know.
So here's the thing about swamp and a lot of other stuff. So there was a guy that used to be on the dungeon a long time ago, and in what's the place right out the Azura starting zone? What's it called?
Metrica Province.
Metrica Province. There's an NPC in Metrica Province named after him, so I won't mention his name because I don't know if that's an ethical thing to do. But he was an interesting guy, and he designed the Swamp Fractal, and he designed stuff like that made you kind of think, how do I approach this? Because Swamp, when it first came out, nobody knew how to do it. Like, people's first time in Swamp, they have no clue what they're doing. They don't understand it. Like, they're not looking for environmental traps. They don't understand that the paths open and close. But after you've done Swamp, like, 3 times, you just know how to do it. Like, it's easy. Like, it's fast. Like, the bosses aren't hard. It's stuff that was designed to be hard for, like, the first time you go in. I don't know why he didn't have enough foresight to... I don't know, just at least lengthen it, because obviously the more times you do anything, it's going to get easier, at least usually. So that's the problem with Swamp. That's the problem with, like, the event in COF Path 2 that still takes forever, that you have to kill the, like, stalkers before they get to mag or whatever. Just, like, all of that dumb time gating stuff. It's like, yeah, it's interesting the first time you do it, but after that, it's just redundant and as boring as not fun and whatever. So, I don't know.
Okay.
It was like they redesigned AC. That was his doing again. And then after that, the dungeon team got disbanded. They redesigned AC, and it was like, yeah, this is hard, this is difficult. But, oh, wait, like a month later, the bosses take 2 seconds to kill, and it's easy. There's no foresight at all. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that could not be what they're going for, because, I mean, the dungeons aren't really supposed to be hard, as such. Really.
Are they not?
No, they said the story mode was supposed to be easy, and something for everyone to do, and that explorable mode would be difficult and challenging, and not something that everyone would do. And I guess realistically looking at it, that's the case. Because there are people that go into dungeons that they die to the Graveling Breeder in AC because they don't know what to do. They're playing a build that doesn't make any sense. They're using, like, green armor, whatever. And so there are a lot of people like that. Like, if you think the Guild Wars 2 community is just me and Teapot and Inks and Reddit, you're wrong by a whole lot. So, but for the people that do it, it's just like it's a joke.
At launch, the dungeons were like you said. It's you're not familiar with them. You don't exactly know what to do. People didn't understand the classes like they understand them now. And this is taking away. This is just the core classes. Forget about elite specs and ascended armor and all that crap. Not everybody had exotic gear right away, even though it was still pretty easy to get at launch. So dungeons in that sense were kind of challenging. But once you had run them, like you said, a couple of times, and you understood what you were supposed to do, and people started to understand the classes better, then dungeons became kind of what they are now. And it's been in that state for a long time, obviously, because the game's been out for so long without any changes really to dungeons.
Yeah, this is a point that I agree. I agree. I need to do this before I say it. So there we go. So I agree with Nike 100% on this point. The dungeons are not easy, but we've had so long to do them and so long to perfect them, and there hasn't been anything else that, everyone thinks they're easy, and people complain about them and say, PvE is not hard. PvE is easy. Everyone can do it, and they flail their arms around, and you have, like, PvPers and World versus Worlders that say that, and they go into dungeons and they just get, like, obliterated by the bosses. And it's not because PvE's, like, it's not difficult. It's not super hard. It's fine. Like, the difficulty is fine. It's good. But there has not been anything else to do for so long that people just think it's easy because they've been doing the same shit over and over.
Same thing with Triple Trouble. I hear that all the time. People will come into an ATT raid or whatever, and we kill it like that, and they're like, oh, man, what a disappointment. That's so easy. It's like, you were not here
the first like 2 weeks it was up.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
Inks was there.
You were not there for the first 2 weeks trying to figure the freaking fight out and having people run around.
We'll have the
chaos
float team.
all over.
The float team go from Crimson to Cobalt.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like, it's funny when I hear people are like, oh, Triple Trouble, that's so easy. And don't get me wrong, Triple Trouble is very, very much about hurting cats and making them do the fight correctly. But trying to figure that out and get people to do the mechanics correctly for the first 2 weeks or however long it was not exactly easy. Sure, nowadays you just go in and there's a commander or somebody who just says, do this, this, and this. Okay, dead, no problem. But for that first little bit, man, not exactly easy.
It's like everything, though. I mean, even the best guilds were getting shreked by Veil Guardian the first time they came across it, and the world's first kill wasn't particularly fast or anything like that. But then now they'll look back on Veil Guardian and wonder how they even ever died to it even once, right? I mean,
sure.
It's just practice, and it's like Tribulation mode, isn't it? Tribulation mode is the perfect example. I mean, once you know the method to do it, it's ridiculously easy. And there's a guy who posted his video on Reddit. He did it in 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Krieger did it faster. Krieger did it in like 2 minutes.
There you
go. That was the last time it was out. So it was like 7 years ago.
Crazy.
I mean, Krieger went in there. He found like map breaks and jumps that like they don't even look like they would be a thing. But I don't know. So literally, it is. If you spend a lot of time doing something, or if you're a quick learner and you watch other people do stuff and you just pick up on, like, it's gonna be, your perspective changes. Yeah, it just does, because it starts out, oh, this is hard, this is impossible, oh, this is easy. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. People flip-flop. There should be more people running for president than there already are with all the flip-floppers we have. So,
Snow Goes Hand wants to know, is it possible to create challenging content that will always stay challenging?
No.
No, you can't, because people eventually learn the tricks, they get comfortable with it, they get used to it, and even though it is still challenging, it hasn't changed at all. Your perception of it.
That's why you have to keep introducing new things, and Guild Wars 2 does not do that at all.
Well, there is one thing. I think it's in RuneScape. There's a particular boss that changes up every 2 weeks. Like it just completely changed the mechanics and the damage it's outputting, and it's like it has a lot of random things that they can apply. They just have a large table of conditions and damage and attacks, and it circulates.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The only way that happens is if you have the bosses random, because right now the bosses are incredibly predictable, right? You know, there's, on the Sloth, it's going to give you poison every X seconds. The Veil Guardian, it puts down the circle every X seconds.
I don't think that's a bad thing either.
No, I absolutely don't. I think that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that if you want it to continually become more difficult, you have to have an extreme random element to it. Otherwise, it's predictable, because that's how people do so. Imagine the pain and suffering of doing fucking Matthias for the first time, if the mechanics were just random the entire time. He was just doing, but with even more mechanics than it already had. It would be misery. Like, I think it is a mental thing as well, because after beating the boss the first time, it's just way easier to beat him over and over again, right? It's just,
yeah.
It's gonna be, yeah. It's the same with a lot of things.
And to be fair, people generally do not like RNG mechanics. They don't want to like get one shot or something out of nowhere. It feels like a cheap, method or whatever. So, those who are vocal about it, I guess, generally will tell you that they hate that sort of thing. But
I think that's kind of necessary though if you want to have an interesting boss fight. Like Veil Guardian, you can just go sleep and then come back after 15
Veil
minutes.
Guardian is an interesting fight though. Actually, I really like Veil Guardian. I think it's
I
an
like it,
interesting
but
fight.
I don't think it's interesting.
You don't think it's interesting?
It's okay. You can be wrong.
I just think
Brutal.
it's the same thing.
Every
week.
You're in 5th grade and you just coloring pages, so I'm not surprised.
Actually, Brazil, that's exactly what I do.
Let's see. Someone said, who said that? Gilboy, you can just make them incredibly unfair. Well, the thing is, if you make the fights incredibly unfair, they may still be.
Less people will do them.
Well, no. Even if you make the fights really unfair, because this is kind of a decent idea, really. If you make the fights just annoying, then eventually it doesn't make any difference, though, because they're still predictable. As long as they're still predictable, then the core problem is still there. I mean, people would say Tribulation mode is unfair to a certain extent, right? Because you try and go somewhere, then boom, spikes just get you, just pierce your flabby body and kill you. But you just learn the route, then you know the spikes are there, and you can't do anything. Just like Undertale, right, guys? The first time the fight happens with the little skeleton man, it says, "Whoa, this is fucked up." But then the second time, it's kind of, well, this isn't that bad, is it? Because you know what's coming.
I think that you'd also have a lot more people rage quit if they did something like that. So you'd have even less people playing raids, and
and it wouldn't have been
not
worth
what they
the
want.
development time at all.
Exactly.
That's what makes me really wonder if in reality there's ever going to be another raid after Wing 3 comes out.
That should
Because
be.
I think they're finding that it probably wasn't worth the dev time.
But they don't really have a lot of devs on it.
But relatively speaking, it wasn't a lot of dev time, was it?
I mean, yeah, that's another good point. I don't know, but like, how long can they go building off of resources that they already had? I mean, if we take into consideration that there's a lot of canceled content, maybe they can go on for a while. But I don't know.
The thing is, because the community that enjoys raids, like you and me, all of us, I don't know. I don't really care if they reuse resources to build it. I'm interested in the mechanics and, basically the mechanics, and if they're fun to do, and if you can get some cool rewards along the way with some dank rewards. But if it's just all reused assets, I mean, Matthias is just a guy they put some clothes on and gave him a new staff, right? I mean, there's nothing new there. It's not like some crazy new model.
Abomination.
Yeah, I believe that's another
new.
skeleton. Oh, it's completely new, is it? It's not. It's not.
Have you looked at him?
Well, no. I mean,
maybe the meshes.
Yeah. I was just wondering if his skeleton has been used before. I think I saw.
That's a good point.
Wait, for which boss?
His skeleton could just be like an undead abomination, and the meshes and textures could be old or new. So I don't know. I think that's how models work. I think there's a skeleton. I think there's mesh, and then there are textures that the mesh go onto, because that's been my experience with like Fallout mods, at least.
For quite a few things, I think that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, there may be other stuff that goes on. Again, I'm not a developer, not a programmer, not an art designer. I don't know. But yeah, it's very possible that some of like the big stuff was reused. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they explained that on Guild Chat that they actually had the skeleton, then the mesh, and then the...
Right. Yeah. Actually, on the Guild Chat, they talk about like Gorseval was whatever, and they added on top of that mesh.
Yes.
And Slothosaur was a particular mesh
gorilla.
as well.
Is probably a gorilla.
No, it was an O-card actually.
An O-card, yeah.
Oh,
that's why he has the tail.
Yeah.
And he has the shake.
He does the Bloomhunger shake as well, doesn't he? But I mean, that's all fine. That's just they're being smart developers, right? They're just being intelligent, and they probably know that the kind of person who plays raids isn't overly bothered about that, right?
I think most of the time unless unless you're a modeler or something yourself, I think most people would never notice that kind of stuff, and
exactly
without them telling you.
I mean, both of the raid wing zones look really good. You know, they're fucking awesome, right?
Which are some kind of reused, altered assets.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the best part about them is that Wing 2 feels so open and so vast. And Wing 1 feels like you're constantly running through corridors. There's not a lot of open space, but they're almost exactly the same size.
Yes.
Because the way they build the environment is just outstanding. So
that was actually one of the things I was kind of disappointed about in Wing 2, actually, that the encounter is in the fort, right? And you don't go out into the zone.
Yeah.
And well, I don't know. ArenaNet Paul was laughing at me for assuming that was actually the case the first time we did it, because the first time we did the bandit encounter, we all left to go and search for the bosses in the big open zone, and he was laughing at us, mocking us for being clowns. It's pretty funny, actually. But yeah.
Well, the open zones are more
Speaking
for,
of going to explore open zones, I'll be right back.
But yeah, I think they made the zones more open because Wing 2 needed more story in there, and you can't really do that when you're fighting in corridors or constantly on the run for the ghosts.
What do you think about this story we have so far from 1 and 2?
I think it's better than what we got in Heart of Thorns. I think it's way more subtle, so you don't really have to. You have to go out of your way to find stuff.
You're not a big fan of where it's going, though, are you? I don't think, Modremoth. With Lazarus, right?
I won't be a fan if Lazarus will be a raid boss. I think they really need raids to set up the story for the season, because I don't think they have a lot left in Maguma. The only things they have left is Ratanovus and the egg. So I think they need to do something. I think they need to open up a zone above Silver Waste that deals with the white mantle stuff.
Right. But that's supposed to be a side story that doesn't necessarily interconnect with the whole dragon storyline.
But it shouldn't be. Like, Living in World Season 3 should take place in Maguma and set up the next Elder Dragon a little. So maybe Glyn's baby tells us something about Krakotoleric that we need to go after him.
His weakness.
I really dislike the weaknesses.
You're not a big fan of that?
No.
They're like Pokemon, Modremoth. You counter them.
I mean, I do know I sound like a 12-year-old, but I don't fucking like Pokemon.
Wow.
Why not?
Pokemon is just, it's too easy. I want Pokemon to have a hard mode.
Hard mode?
Pokemon hard mode.
Yeah, just like raids. They should also have a hard mode.
What would a hard mode really consist of, though?
In Pokemon?
Just some more mechanics.
No, in Pokemon.
In raids.
In raids. Just more mechanics?
More mechanics. I think they need to extend the enrage timers a little bit for the bosses, but then just add new mechanics.
I think reduce the enrage time. Make it more extreme.
Right.
reduce.
Because right now, especially, I think this is really obvious in Matthias, you can afford to be shit at mechanics and you can still do the boss.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you can have 3 minutes, nearly 3 minutes left by the time you kill the boss, and that's if you fuck up as well, right? So,
Right.
in a hard mode, you bring that back so you're not allowed to fuck up more than once or twice, and then you add more mechanics, then you have something that maybe, but then again, why would they do this, right? Because not many people do raids anyway. Frank-a-Z!
Frank-a-Z.
Yeah, and it's more like Ralph-a-Z, actually. But then if they make it harder, then even less people do it.
Well, do you think that like the achievements are not enough? Because some of the achievements are pretty challenging, right?
Slippery Slubbling was one of the best ones, I think.
I'm not sure if they got done what they were trying to do with the Simon was wrong achievement.
Does it do anything?
The Matthias, when you have to do the Bloodstone dust. I'm not sure they got done what they wanted to do. Did it even work? I don't understand what they were getting at there, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It just
I haven't done them, so
it doesn't do it well.
I haven't even noticed it doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. Me neither. It doesn't.
What is it supposed to do?
It's supposed to make the fight harder or something.
Yeah, but if it's the same effect from Living Season 2, it should have reduced healing, but I don't think you really noticed that.
Did it? I didn't notice it. Honestly, I didn't notice it.
I didn't either. The times we tried it.
Neither.
Were you running 2 druids or 2 healers? Or no?
When I tried it, we were running Teapot as Tempest healer, I think, and one other druid.
I'm just wondering if there's so much overhealing going on that you don't even notice the health deficit from the food or whatever. Or maybe the food just is broken or something. I have no idea.
I mean, it should work. Like, it's an item they've used before.
Sure, yeah. But what I mean is if you have 2 healers, maybe you don't necessarily even need 2 healers. So even if you're taking a health deficit, it doesn't matter because you're overhealing so much that you just don't really notice that the healing's reduced. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that might be the case.
Quite possibly.
Should try it with 1 heal and see how it goes.
Just to see if you can even notice the effect of the food that on you.
I think there's 1 Tempest healer is definitely doable. I think the Druid, unless your party's really on point, the Druid kind of struggles on Matthias because of its very bursty. And you need the consistent heals of a Tempest, which really help out on that Matthias fight because there's lots of pressure all the time throughout that fight, whereas the Druid is really good for, a boss punched you in the face, let me heal you real quick. And the Tempest can deliver that as well. It's just the fact that
Tempest can do. I think Tempest is a better healer than Druid.
it definitely is. It's definitely a better healer, but the Druid provides unique modifiers. Yeah, and Spotter as well, which is a pretty big deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, if you in the dream world you have Druid, but in the world where you want to keep your whole team alive all the time.
In the dream world, you have a Pip-Boy.
Ooh.
Or maybe 2 Pip-Boys.
Yeah.
Which raid boss do you guys think that's the most fun?
Most fun, Matthias. I think it's the most fun boss.
Well, I'm a noob, so I haven't done Matthias or the camp.
I like Sabbatha a lot, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
Sabbatha, yeah. Actually, I think Sabbatha might be my favorite.
I like the dialogue. I like the mechanics. Like, I don't know.
Really
I like the environment.
As frustrating as it was to try and get it down with the original team I played with, I really like the throwing and the hitting the jump pad and going and killing the cannons and coming back, and yeah, I like all those. I like all those mechanics that Sabbatha had.
No one likes.
Why is Brazil on a winning streak?
Are you?
Someone said, "Oh, I figured it out."
You got 2 pips. Yeah, I see. Yeah, that was pretty good actually. No one likes Gorseval. I think Gorseval gets kind of a bad rap, honestly, because he doesn't really do anything. That's his problem.
He looks the most badass.
He does. He does look incredible.
I don't have any problems with Gorseval. I think he's okay, but
yeah. Veil Guardian. Yeah, again, Veil Guardian is a really fun boss as well. But you know, he's kind of easy. But then again, he's not if you're doing him for the first time, right? Then the pain train really begins. Veil Guardian is actually the boss that took Salt the longest to kill. So there you go.
Yeah, it took us 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
That's pretty good, Brazil.
I can't
that's pretty
figure
nice.
out how to get this fucking SIM card out of this
that's
thing.
a good point, actually, Brazil. Do you want to come and do Veil Guardian with only dodges? We're going to try that this Wednesday. Only Daredevils, only dodges.
What?
No.
Why?
Why not?
Because, I mean, there's stuff that's fun. There's fun that's like a neat idea to do it. And then there's the stuff where it's like, all right, honestly, mental health is a thing, and maybe we should like go see a psychiatrist.
Oh well. Do we have anything else to say, or should we let's just generate content by asking the audience to tell us things to say?
Yeah, ask us a question.
All right.
While I
ask us
try
some
to
questions.
work on this phone.
Ask us a question.
All right. Wow. Let's see, what a dodgy stream that'll be. Yes, it will. It'll be a very dodgy stream.
I don't know which one of these I like better, because it's like I didn't realize how big my 1+1 was until I like stuck it next to this thing. Like, holy shit! Like that's enormous. But this one, I just like got this the other day while I was working. Someone's like, "You want this?" It's like, "Yeah, sure." And it had shitty bloatware, shitty operating system on it, so I just nuked it the hell off. Because messing with phones is fun. But that's filler for while people are asking us questions.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I hope the next patch
Forty in the house anime.
they make more healing spec considered meta, like on par with druids. Ventari Revenant is nice, but no one wants it because there's no reason to bring one.
That is 100% wrong. Sorry.
You use it on the Slippery Slib achievement.
Ventari Revenant is incredibly good. It's just hard for people to play. Just like Elementalist. When Elementalist was like Engineer, it's too hard for people. So for the first 2 years of the game, everyone thought it sucked. And even when I was realizing, hey, Engineers, I didn't figure out Elementalist. I won't take any credit for that. But Engineer was like, okay, Engineer's pretty good. All right, Engineer's honestly really good, and it can combine like 4 class mechanics into one. We should take Engineer, and I mean now everybody fucking plays Engineer, so whatever. Nemesis figured out Necromancer. I did a lot for Ranger too. I can't, of course, I can't take credit for Engineer completely. There are a lot of other people who did a lot of stuff, like Guang from Guild Wars 2 Guru. I don't know. People just.
Add raid instabilities. Raid instabilities.
No.
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 But more healing specs? What profession would be a healing spec?
Engineer.
The thing is, if you bring another healing spec, I think you kind of inadvertently add power creep to the game. Because if you're doing that, then you have to bring something unique to the table, right? And Druid has already done that because it has its Grace of the Land. And that's the thing about Druid, right? Because while it brings healing, and a lot of it, and burst healing, which is kind of what you need for a lot of raid encounters, it also brings a unique modifier that increases all the DPS, right? And if you bring a new healer, if you want to really compete with Druid, you need to have something like that. And if you have something like that, then you go, well, what happens if we combine the Druid one and the other elite specialization heal thingy, and then you're in trouble, basically, because then everything starts spiraling out of control and everything gets more and more powerful. I mean, it depends how it goes with future elite specializations. I'm not sure if they're going to get even more ridiculous. Yeah, everyone's going to go, Tempest, complete trash compared to the new Mega Tempest in the new expansion. But I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see.
Tempest.
I'll be honest.
Yeah. Crazy.
I don't think there are going to be any more elite specializations.
Yes, there will be. I'm sure.
I don't think there will be. Because they took so long to develop and test, and the rest of the expansion, obviously there wasn't a whole lot of it. So I think the next expansion, I would hope it's going to be it's content, not elite specializations. And then maybe if they do another one after that, or like a small thing that costs like $15 or $25 instead of 50, that just has elite specializations. So
I think the next expansion will have elites, but it also needs to deliver a lot more content as well.
They need to finish this one first.
Yeah.
It'll be done. It'll be done on the 19th.
If you believe that, I mean, it's not gonna happen.
Kevin, will you show your face at 6K followers?
Yes.
How close are we to 6K? Oh, that's a lifetime away.
Yeah, that's a long way.
I'll probably be dead then.
Oh, feels bad, but
Wow.
Turn song request on. No, this is tea time, bitch. How long will it take Mike O'Brien to hire a new director?
He won't. He'll get someone from between someone in the company already, or he'll take over himself.
I think there's a couple. That's maybe a discussion for another time, but I think there are some good candidates inside the company already. They might hire outside. I don't know.
I imagine they're thinking of a decision soon.
Yeah. Within the next couple months.
We can't say. We have no
we'll see a new
information
director,
about
I
this.
think. Just a guess.
Will you carry me through Nightfall campaign? Haven't finished it in Guild Wars 1 for carrying in PvP Kappa. Yeah, sure.
Whoever's asking that, I'll play it with you, because I also haven't finished it.
Yeah. Let's see.
I don't think I have either, actually.
Whoa.
I'm at the end, but I haven't finished it.
Crystal Reed, game director. Then all the game is just raids. I can go with that. I could live with that. I could live with that. Oh.
Then you'd get a Wildstar.
Let's see what else is going on here. RuneScape stream on Monday.
No.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Maybe if chat pick one emote to spam enough, then maybe that will happen. But seeing as it's Twitch chat, it's not possible. Don Tane and Matt Visual as final raid boss. A duo.
Get crit!
Yeah.
Screw that. They're gonna pay PewDiePie to come over and do some PewDiePie.
Between Living Story 1, 2, and HOT, was there a part you liked? I honestly, I'm kind of one of these people that actually enjoyed all of that. I don't know. I did enjoy it quite a lot. You know, doing all this kind of fucking achievements, playing the little bit of content. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say it was. I'm not gonna say it was perfect, but yeah, you know, doing stuff like that. The new jumping puzzle they added. Yeah. The fucking ridiculous Lost Shore event that was just fucked up, borderline. You know,
I like the Carcass stuff, even though I wasn't there for it. And I like the Molten Facility Dungeon. I like everything on South Sun Cove. I thought South Sun Cove was beautiful. I mean, the Canuck fight was stupid and short.
I used to hate Carcass. I used to hate them with a passion.
Oh yeah, they're difficult and they're annoying. I like them.
They're annoying.
I mean, honestly,
I love the whole place.
The thing with HOT is, I mean, I was kind of, you know, this is kind of a fun story we're going on here. It's kind of weird, and my character is being a dick, and Timey is annoying me. But the only thing that kind of disappointed me is, Modremoth, he's dead. Serious? After
he's in the Skype call.
Yeah, he's right here. I mean, that was the thing that kind of. That was the jarring thing. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of problems with the writing and the characters, but honestly,
there's just problems with the writing. There's problem with the pacing, and there's problem with plot holes.
Yeah, pacing is definitely an issue. I was really not expecting to kill Modremoth in just the base expansion. I was expecting them to just kind of string that out a little bit, and also have a more epic conclusion as well, rather than we did a fucking Inception on this bitch and killed him. But yeah, whatever.
To be honest, I really like the Verdant Brink.
Huh?
I really like the Verdant Brink sounds.
Sounds? Yeah.
I mean, that story was... They set the Itzel and the Nuog up pretty well, and after that it just went to shits. Like we didn't get any story set up with Exalted. It was just like, oh, you're there, it's cool. We'll leave the egg with you, and we'll continue.
So there's a lot of, this is kind of unfortunate, I guess. There's a lot of cool, like, tidbits of lore and stuff on the Exalted if you do that achievement where you run around and read their tablets or whatever they are, like, around the city. It actually has a kind of an interesting story about them. But I guess it's not told very well in the game necessarily, because you wouldn't know that lore unless you go around and read it. And you could just more easily follow the story and not really have a firm grasp on who they are, what they're about, or like some of that stuff is kind of glossed over a little too much.
Yeah.
Like with the Exalted, there's this whole story of in Living World Season 2 where Kaith kills Wynn, and that whole chamber, that golden chamber there. That was an Exalted, like, base. It was an Exalted outpost, I guess you could call it. And then from there, they went into Verdant Brink, and Lost Precipice was one of their strongholds or camps as well. This is before they moved into Arg Basin and built the city that now exists. So, like, that kind of lore and stuff is cool, but unless you go out of your way to find it, I think it's kind of lost on some of the players and stuff.
I think a lot of this was also lost in a blog post. Like, why would you release that blog post right before
that
was launches?
Yeah, that was like spoilers. Yeah, that was really puzzling to me as well. Like, we got a ton of information in that blog post, which came up before the expansion launched, and kind of revealed a lot of things about the Exalted in that blog post. So that was really weird timing on that one, I guess.
Yeah, quite unusual.
Yeah.
I have a question for Modremoth. Did ArenaNet do a good job of portraying your death? No. I like the Mouth of Modremoth fight. That I really enjoyed that fight, and it felt epic the first time I did it. But I really don't like how they ended the personal story.
Me neither.
I'm gonna be honest. I like Dragon's Den a whole lot.
I agree.
Yeah.
I also like it.
Yeah.
I think it takes too long.
Yeah, sure.
But
it's epic, right? It's pretty fucking epic. You fight the giant snake. Sky
An
snake.
argument that I hear from a lot of people that I think is a
Dragon.
very good argument is that, go back to your Tumblr inks, is that I only have half an hour a night to play Guild Wars 2 because I have a life and a job and kids or whatever. So just sitting down for 2 hours so I can do Dragon's Stand is impossible. I think that's a very good argument. I think Dragon's Stand takes too long. But I also like it a lot. I think maybe they could just speed it up because there are a whole lot of events that are just collect these pieces of scrap metal or kill this Mordrim Breacher.
Yeah.
And it's like, is that really necessary? Is it?
I think it's necessary. The zone would just feel empty. Otherwise, it would just be 3 events of people constantly moving to other camps.
I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with Modremoth.
Why couldn't they have just taken some of that out and put in a 4th lane?
Because it's necessary. The whole point of it is that
I know.
all the maps are almost one story, almost, right? It's kind of the maps flow into each other as you go down.
But they don't.
I know.
But they kind of do, though.
I think Tangled Depths and Dragon's Den definitely achieved that, but I don't think the other zones achieved that.
No, I think Verdant Brink is self-contained, and Arg Basin
Yes.
is just can fuck
Yeah.
off. All I care. Just like, where did this Octavine come from? What is it?
Yeah.
What does it do?
Why is this even happening?
The only story I like in Auric Basin is the little, in the right side corner, there's a druid one. It doesn't explain a whole lot, but I think it's interesting. I thought it was an interesting part of that zone. The only interesting part, really.
Which one has the? I think it's Arc Basin where the Skrit falls in love with the Exalted.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
takes the head. That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
I was entertained.
You're easily entertained.
That's true. I am pretty easily entertained.
I mean, you like Twitch memes, so...
Yeah, I do like Twitch memes a lot.
So, but the patch that we get in mid-April, late April, is supposed to address a lot of these things. I guess we'll have to wait and see how much of
I
that
hope it
actually
does.
shakes out. But a lot of adventures being more accessible to people, and the metas themselves is supposed all in rewards. A lot of that stuff is supposed to get addressed, which are a big problem for a lot of people who only have limited time to play, or just players in general. I don't want to necessarily sit down and do Dragon Stand for 2 hours. And it's not that I don't like Dragon Stand, but there's other things I'd rather do with 2 hours of game time than run Dragon Stand
I'd
once.
go build a chicken coop or get drunk as hell.
So we'll see.
We will. I'm going to be interested to see how they fix this. Honestly, I mean, are they going to buff the rewards? Are they going to add more ways to get the map currency so you can kind of dip in and dip out? That's kind of what I'm expecting.
There are a whole lot of events that just don't give anything.
Exactly.
You have to do them. They just don't do shit.
Yeah. So they're going to change the rewards, add some in. So maybe going through the map gives maybe a lot of rewards in addition to doing the big final event thingy.
It's I have 200% participation and it doesn't do anything. Nice.
Well, it does.
It does
at
though.
The end.
It does at the end, but I think they should just get rid of that system. I don't think it works. They should just spread the rewards out over the entire zone instead
It
of
feels
having
like
it in one
a
chunk.
high school football coach to me. But I mean, yeah, like the system is you do some stuff and then you just AFK and it's fine. Like you just keep your rewards. Like you just go tag something, or you just don't care about it and you just AFK anyways. So
that's kind of a problem. That's a massive problem with Auric Basin, honestly.
Yeah.
There is no point in doing the events almost right before the final Octovine, because I mean it's kind of cool that all the rewards are in chests where you use the exalted keys. The problem is the rewards from the chests are totally independent of if you actually bother to do anything, right? So now it's almost fucking comical to watch people do the Octovine, because everyone starts at the East Octovine, then you see everyone leave and go around to the other one, and just keep going. It's hilarious. They don't have anything. They don't need to do anything, because all they need to do is just tag that Octovine. They can get their 100% participation, get those 7 keys, and get enough Aurelium. Yes, that's right. Aurelium to kind of fuel it and keep it going, to get enough keys to open all the good chests, and then you get the massive swag at the end. Because damn, those grand exalted chests, some good shit, man.
Yeah.
I got 2 black diamonds from one of those things. That's fucking rigged. Actually rigged. So yeah, good shit. I love it. But
So it'll
really
be
like
someone brought up that we're not going to get a lot of content with this mid-late April patch, and that's true. There's not going to be a lot of new content. This is really about fixing problems with Heart of Thorns mostly. So I mean that's we've known for a while. What
is your microphone like this?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I was wondering. All right.
But wasn't one of the biggest complaints with Heart of Thorns also that there wasn't really anything to explore? Like there weren't really side-off events?
Yes.
So I think they might add a few new events if they really want to fix all the issues. Like don't just fix the reward issues and then leave it. Actually fix the issues that people are complaining and vocal about.
Not enough content is a problem with HUD, though. Yeah, no, I understand that, but really, honestly speaking, we're not going to get much content until Living World Season 3, which won't be until June or July.
Which we don't know if that's going to have content or not.
Well, it's supposed to at least have story, I guess, at the very least, right?
Yeah.
But this patch we've known since February, end of January, February, that this April spring quarterly was going to be about fixes and reconsolidation of Heart of Thorns maps, rewards, salvaging, or scribing, and things like that. We knew that it was not going to be new content heavy, if at all, really. And that's not going to sit well with some people. No. I totally understand that. They did also say that they're going to bring back the Alpine Borderlands map, but that will not be in Spring Quarterly. That'll be sometime after.
That's a whole other issue that, I mean...
the World vs. World, yeah.
It's an
So-
expansion content that people paid for, and it's broken, and they can't fix it, so we're
they're
going to
getting
delete
rid of
it
Yeah.
and bring the
Well,
old
they-
stuff
but they-
back, and people are actually excited for that.
But
They
that's
did a poll. That's what they want. That's what.
I think that's really sad, too.
yeah. But the thing is, they tested this thing. It's not like they just released it. They tested it, and people, well, either lots of streamers got in, which I don't think was a
Yes.
good idea. Like,
Yep.
I don't have anything against Aurora Peachy, but she's not a World v World player, and she's not really a PvP player. So why does she get into the beta test?
Why
doesn't
do I
everyone-
get in? Right?
Why do I? Yeah.
Why
Why
the
do I?
fuck
Get
am I
in?
in? I don't know how
I mean,
to do
I-
this. I don't know how to play.
I mean,
I play World vs. World seasons by following other commanders who
Yeah.
know what the hell they're doing, really.
Sure.
yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree with you. But they said that I believe it's after this April patch. I keep calling it an April patch, but the spring quarterly patch is when they're supposed to invite real World vs. World members to beta test
But that's way too
whatever
late.
they're working on.
That's
Whatever
way
they're
too
working
late.
on.
Why didn't you, before Heart of Thorns came out, why didn't you actually test it with just some guilds? Like, people will test your shit for free. Like,
Sure.
if I ask some World v World players, do you want to test our new map? They'll probably say yes, because they want the insights and they want to have an opinion in what's happening.
Yeah. And there was some of that, but not nearly enough. You're absolutely right.
That's pretty much. That's kind of. I mean, but then again, would they have even done anything? Because Stronghold was tested quite extensively and nothing changed.
Well,
More or less.
Tweaks.
did people really complain about Stronghold? Did they really complain that it wasn't any fun? I think people just got sick of it and realized that Conquest was easier in their lives. Because with
That's true.
Stronghold, you need a good team.
I think a lot of it though is the fact that it's just. I don't know. We've encountered quite a lot of irrational hatred for Stronghold. Honestly, just I mean, in Twitch chat and just in general, you know, people call it PVE or something. I mean, what is this shit? I don't know why people do this. There is kind of
PvPers that are good at maybe good at one aspect of the game, and so they think it's. I'm not just saying this about PvPers. It is about PvEers, World v Worlders, who people think that they're hot shit because they wear Berserker's armor in dungeons, and people think they're hot shit because they wear Soldier's armors in a Zerg, and people think they're hot shit because they play a tank druid or a Reaper in PvP, and they've just figured out the whole game. That's the problem, and those people will never go away. They'll never stop existing, and they're just going to complain about literally anything that doesn't help their self-image of them being good. So,
Stronghold is
I don't know.
Zerg Fiesta. I'm not sure if you're
not if
trolling or
not if it's played correctly. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, there is a very effective strategy to doing it, and maybe that's why people don't like it. I mean, if you get stomped in Stronghold, maybe a few people have had this experience. If you get stomped because someone is using the correct strategy and you're trying to play it like a Conquest game, you are going to lose miserably, horribly.
Yeah.
The agony will be unbearable. You'll lose in 2 minutes, right? And maybe that's what people don't like about it. You know, in Conquest, it will typically go on for a decent amount of time, even if you get destroyed. But in Conquest, if you don't have the correct team composition and way of playing the game with regards to the supply and the heroes and so on and stuff like that, and you get completely annihilated. The game is over. Get back in that 10-minute queue, and maybe that's what people, you know, don't really like that shit.
a lot of the games where people are not playing like that whole Zerg fest, or the Zerg just totally fails when they try to do it, usually goes to overtime. Like a lot of the games tend to go to overtime, at least in my experience.
But overtime isn't, well, it's like a gimmick mechanic. It's
Well, I mean, okay, well, it goes to time. Overtime is, I guess, is wrong. But the games go to time, meaning that it's not, over in 2 minutes or whatever. But at least that's been my experience with Stronghold. Don't get me wrong, once in a while you do run into a team or you face a team that just is, they don't defend at all for whatever reason. They don't even try to stop you. And so you can Zerg through it and beat them in like a minute and a half or whatever it is.
Mm.
But most games that I play anymore tend to be, they end up going to time, which may or may not be appealing to people because then you're playing for, a longer period, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there people complain about as you were saying, Inks. People complain about the zerging strategy, but if you know how to deal with that, it's very easy to stop it, right? You know, they go, oh, you know, they just rush the Lord. It takes 2 minutes, right? But if you're dealing with a team that knows how to do that, that shit does not work, and it won't work ever, right? If a team sees that coming, they will completely shut you down. And the thing is, if you overextend like that in Stronghold, the punishment
you lose all of your advantage.
Yeah, the punishment is unbearable. It's kind of a bit more difficult to swing the game back in your favor in Stronghold. And maybe again, that's something that people like in Conquest. Everything you can turn that shit around. Boom! Suddenly you've got a 3 cap. You're back in business. With Stronghold, you really have to push the fucking pendulum back the other way, right? Because it's very punishing if you're behind. If you're behind, you stay behind a lot of the time.
Gimmicks in any game mode. If you're not prepared, in any game, I should say, if you're not prepared for a gimmick, like if you're playing MTG and someone's playing Hexproof, you have nothing to deal with Hexproof at all. You're gonna lose. But if you have stuff in your sideboard for Hexproof specifically, because people go do that shit at tournaments, and it's not even like you're just gonna run over them. If you're playing Exodia and someone's not prepared for Exodia, they're gonna lose. But whenever they side in 3 Jinzos and 3 Royal Decrees, there's literally nothing the Exodia player can do. So,
and that's what makes the games more interesting. Sideboarding 100%. Correctly, or adjusting for those strategies correctly is what makes it interesting.
But I feel like Stronghold doesn't really give you space to do that.
I disagree.
Why?
Because if you push in, like if we take our 5 Lich Form epidemics and go into the Lord Room and they stop it, then we just basically lose the game. It happened over and over and over.
Yep.
Like it worked sometimes, or we just literally just took a plunger and shoved it straight up the other team's asshole. Like, I mean, it was hilarious. We just blew them away. But like whenever they figured out that's what was happening, they stopped us, and then we just couldn't build up advantage. It was done. You played your whole hand and nothing. You just couldn't do anything.
Yep. It's quite analogous to a card game in that respect, right?
Yep.
If you're only drawing 1 card and you use all your cards at once, it's just the if you don't have a backup from that, you lose the game. Do I have a problem with that? Not really, honestly. I don't really have a problem with that as a game mode. I mean, there are ways to play Stronghold reliably in a very consistent manner. If you play the game as it's actually supposed to be, with dealing with the heroes and having attacking and defending simultaneously and skirmishing around the supply, the games actually go correctly. And Jebro has basically pointed out the key issue, and Rim also pointed out the key issue, is just the fact that if you have a whole bunch of teams who know the strategy going up against teams who have no idea what the strategy is, all you have is stomps the entire time.
Yeah,
and not many people play Stronghold, so no one learns the strategies. So these teams that know what they're doing, they're just going crazy, just flattening everyone who tries to play Stronghold. Then the people who just come in to try and play Stronghold, maybe they solo queue, they go, well, fuck this. This is retarded. This is PVE. I'm just getting wrecked. My lord just died in 2 minutes. This is bullshit. And then people stop playing Stronghold. And then the vicious circle continues. So then you end up with these fucking 3 teams just farming pips off these hapless people who don't know how to play the game mode, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty silly. But then again, kind of the same thing would be in Conquest, right? It's just because Conquest was first. I mean, imagine if people came into the game right now and people didn't know how to rotate properly, right? I mean, it would be fucking ridiculous. You just have 1 or 2 team just stomping everyone because they know how to take fights and how how to deal with the objectives on the map, right?
That still happens plenty.
Oh yeah, definitely.
People just pretend that it's not a problem with Conquest, and they just want to say it's a problem. I don't know.
I think with Conquest, when you're playing solo queue, I think it's more fun than playing Stronghold solo queue.
Definitely, Stronghold solo queue is probably living hell because there are so few people queuing. You're very likely to end up with a pre-made against you. And you know what's really weird, actually? You know how they said you can never go up against full randoms as a pre-made? At some point, the matchmaking algorithm does just give up and just put
Yeah.
you up against randoms. Because we went up against, we were queuing as 5-man pre-made. I was in Diamond at the time, I want to say, and obviously no one in Diamond is playing Stronghold. That's what I said. No one's doing that. So we were queuing for 21 minutes, and then we get up against a bunch of randoms, and the game takes 2 minutes, and it's over because they make an archer at first. They don't know what the fuck's going on. It's probably their first time in Stronghold. They don't know what is this shit, and then they try and play, and then they lose, and then they quit, and then they'll never come back because it's over. It's sad. My beloved game mode. I see it dying before my eyes every week. The queues are longer. Ah.
And now you can't even play it anymore because you're legendary.
Yeah, no, I mean, I actually have to. This is the point. I actually have to get another account because I can't play Stronghold anymore, unfortunately. I mean, Rim told me today that he queued for an hour and 15 to get one game of Stronghold.
Stronghold? Oh my gosh.
Kai was
Brutal.
Kai was trying to snipe me when we were streaming, and he queued for 45 minutes and didn't get a game. He was, of course, in Legend at the time. I actually have to buy a new account at this point. Feels bad, man.
Brutal.
Guild Wars 2 is free to play.
And that's an excellent point that Rim made. He said, should they sell PvP-only accounts akin to Guild Wars 1 for maybe $15, and why aren't they doing that already? I actually think they should just have it as like an add-on. So instead of buying that, you unlock elite specializations for PvP. So you get your free account, you're having a great time, you're exploring the world, then you go into PvP, and then you realize, oh, hang on, I don't have elite specializations. My characters suck compared to everyone else's. So then you pay $15, $20 to unlock elite specializations only in PvP, right? So you can still, because if you limit it to only PvP, I think that's a little bit too limited, right? But whereas if you allow them to enjoy the core Tyria open world, and then have PvP elite specializations unlocked, job done. That's a good way to have literally no one buy hot? I don't think so, because if you buy HOT, you get raids.
Well, if they want to make some money, they just make it 200 gems per elite specialization and then 2,000 for the entire package.
I think it would have to be more than that.
200 gems per elite spec. Wow.
Yeah.
I think it would be 900 gems.
The range would be crazy.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
You get the money glider with it.
Money rains money.
Yeah, it rains money.
Ouch. Ouch.
I want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Sleepy time.
Resident sleeper. Let's see. Should oh, I got logged out. What the fuck?
Oh no.
Wow. Should ArenaNet ban the Aetherblade heavy pants? I heard they make females over-sexualized by showing too much butt keepo.
Yeah, just ban it.
Yep, just ban it.
Oh, the whole Blizzard
Human
thing.
females are over-sexualized, please. Just
That was
shit
a nice meme by Blizzard. That was a pretty good comeback. Also, people who hold that kind of view make me want to uninstall my life, just so you guys are aware of that, but you probably already knew that.
That's not my solution.
What?
Uninstalling your life is not your solution?
I'm gonna continue to move on and have fun. And when someone like that approaches me, I'll just ignore them. And if they keep on approaching me and saying dumb shit, I'll just ignore them.
Yeah.
And if they keep it up, I'll just break their nose and I'll say, you didn't stop, sorry.
That seems fair to me. But yeah, oh my god. The fact that that was even a thing.
Maybe you should explain it for those who don't know what you're talking about.
So there's this game called
Overwatch, yes.
And there's this girl. See, I'm gonna over-sexualize myself. There's this girl.
Prepare your gachi-gasms, boys!
And people thought, it's over-sexualized, even though her ass literally looked like a flattened gummy bear. So, and people complained about it, and Blizzard deleted it out of the game. Whatever.
Did you see the comeback they had, though?
They did Flanders as a fucking April Fool's joke.
They did what?
I'll send it in Skype, Brazil.
Okay, fucking go. Look, this is good. Like, I was right? They did actually do this.
Yeah, they did actually do it.
Oh my god. Never mind.
This is actually glorious. No, you should keep watching. Just to watch the end.
This is fucking good, probably.
They actually made her do the pose.
Oh my god. That's actually pretty funny.
It's fucking China, not giving a fuck.
Nice memes. Nice memes. But yeah, that was.
Where is this even from?
It's
Spring
the
Championship.
Yeah,
Okay.
championship thing.
Jeez.
Tresu.
Because they
Why
actually.
Blizzard is Blizzard.
Yeah, they're successful in esports.
Blizzard doesn't give a fuck.
They know how to sell.
Brazil, real chubby chub. Here's the thing. So
Real
a lot
chubby
of people,
chub, are you serious?
a lot of people are really sensitive to stuff like that and about their appearance and about everything. People are sensitive to virtual asses on a screen.
Yeah,
and I literally don't care. I don't have a problem that people call me a fat ass. That people say I'm a chubby chub, even though it's probably just a joke. Because I can realize that that's a problem. I don't care. Like, if more people just took the approach that, like, just, it's fine, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, I don't know. I think the stuff would be a lot better off. It's whatever. I have jiggly man titties. I don't give a fuck. You can tell me about them. It's not like I don't know that. It's not like I'm supposed to be ashamed because you'd want to point something out about me. I just don't care. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. Blizzard do not hate gamers. Blizzard love gamers. They know how to treat gamers.
Give them money.
Yeah. Blizzard really know how to play the game. Honestly, they're very, very good at it.
Yep.
But yeah, no, Blizzard games are good because they're always really well polished. They actually work, and most of the time, they do get the job done as well.
They're also very, very good at seeing somebody else's idea
and taking
it,
And stealing it. Yeah.
Yep.
and then just polish it into their game. They just
Yep.
rub it into the game.
Yep.
Here you go. Enjoy that
I-
aspect. Don't play that other game anymore because you can play ours and experience
I know
it.
you're saying it because I don't mind it. I know. I'm just using that to make another point. I didn't take it personally because there's no point to do that. I'm saying this because other people should realistically have the same approach and not just literally be bothered by everything. So
yeah, Blizzard is extremely good at marketing. Yes, WoW Warlords of Draenor was a disappointment for a lot of people. Only one patch, obviously. That's honestly, I kind of burnt out on WoW, honestly, which hasn't really happened before, honestly. But the thing is, every time I see the Legion cinematic, I kind of think, holy shit, this is awesome. I want to play this game, right? And even though the gameplay is just so simple and so basic, just watching the cinematic is just the most hype thing ever. And just, oh shit, I need to buy this game and play it right now. But yeah.
WoW has to say, you know what's really funny about this whole thing? WoW hasn't had content for a year. Now, don't get me wrong, that's pretty extreme even for World of Warcraft, but it's been that like that for years, where they go through content droughts for long periods of time of not having really updates.
That's their methodology.
It's just that this time, right now, is longer than most.
But it doesn't really matter with WoW because you still have content to play. Like, you're still gonna have a few dungeons and a few raids. That's still gonna be relevant and fun to play. And GW2 doesn't really have that.
I mean, if you do,
WoW definitely. WoW definitely hits these peaks where it's like those who are hardcore raiders or who are consistent raiders. They hit peaks of they have nothing to do for months, 6 months on end.
When did WoW come out?
The
like
original
late
World of
90s,
Warcraft?
early 2000s? Early 2000s. I guess it was in beta in like 2000, 2001, something. I don't know.
It's mid 2000, I think, or 2000.
Yeah, something. I remember D&T doing shit in WoW in like 2004. Anyways, I guess that is mid 2000s. I don't know.
It was out in 2004.
It's been around a whole lot longer than Guild Wars 2 has.
Long time.
And Guild Wars had Guild Wars 1, and went to Guild Wars 2, and WoW has had the same shit to do since however long ago, like over 10 years. Of course it's going to have more content and more shit to do, and it makes a whole lot more money, and it's made a whole lot of money with the same business model and building on it, adding cash shops, whatever, because there came a point where the people that were playing WoW that were our age when they started playing, that are now like in their 30s with families and kids, they don't have time to raid for 8 hours a night. They have families and shit, and they like the game, and now they have a job with disposable income, so yeah, they'll put money in the cash shop, whatever. And then little kids saw the cash shop, and they say, oh, we can buy this. I can spend $3,500 with my credit card on FIFA.
Yeah, that's exactly how I think.
Like, I don't know, MMOs are just like...
Fucked.
This is what MMOs are like, I swear to God.
Why are you playing Guild Wars 2 so much if you and others like Blizzard games so much? I know there's a kappa after that, but I will actually answer because it is a fair point, saying as we do praise Blizzard here. But the thing is, about Blizzard games, I mean, I do play. I play a lot of StarCraft. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I play that as well as with Guild Wars 2. But the thing with Guild Wars 2 is, and this is what really appeals to me about it, is the fact that I don't have to invest a ridiculous amount of time into Guild Wars 2. I'm kind of a casual pleb at the end of the day, you know. I mean, and WoW, to do raiding and shit, that's a lot of time I need to put into this, and it takes ages to get going. If I want a PvP in WoW, then I've got to grind all this fucking honor gear. Then I have to do arenas to get the first tier of gear, and then when another gear tier comes out, I got to grind that shit, and it takes ages to do. And if you don't have the optimal gear set, you suck, and everyone's better than you, and it's miserable. And it's just once you get to that glorious peak of memes, it's that it takes a while to get to that point, right?
Do you guys know how much money League of Legends made off skins like 2 years ago? It's something like $11 million. It's like $11 million. $11 million off skins.
It's pretty good.
People put money in the cash shop. That's why we have outfits every like 2 weeks, but we don't have living story. People spend money on outfits.
I mean, with the gem store outfits, I definitely know that people buy them. Because if you see in the roleplay community, every time a new one comes out, everyone uses it. If it's pretty good, like the
What do you know about the roleplay community?
I might have been invested in the roleplay community of GW2. I might be a role player.
Oh, I love that word so much.
I don't think that's news to anyone.
It would have to change a lot in WoW for me. A lot would have to change. There's a lot of reasons that I play Guild Wars 2 over WoW anymore. That being said, I played and loved the hell out of WoW for like 7 years.
Yep.
And
I'll be honest.
Wouldn't trade it for anything. So
I played WoW for
love
15
WoW.
minutes. 15 minutes is how long I played WoW for. I made an account. I made a Blood Elf. I went into the starter zone and got spammed by recruiting guilds and gold sellers. I uninstalled the game.
Alright. Rip.
World of Warcraft is more about playing with friends. Because I know the only reason I really bought World of Warcraft was to play with friends.
Yep. I'd agree with that.
That's why I play Guild Wars 2. I don't play Guild Wars 2 because there's just a shitload of content and it's never boring. I play Guild Wars 2 because I like bullshitting with Inks and MightyTeapot, and I like to shit talk Boots on Sundays and whatever. It's a social experience. That's why I don't know. It's
a social experiment.
Yeah. The reason I prefer Guild Wars 2 to WoW, I mean, I like the mechanics better. I like how the game plays better. Yeah, there's quite a lot of things I like about Guild Wars 2, actually. They're just better. I like the game system. The mechanics of the game, I just prefer. Do I need to give it more explanation than that? Not really. I know. I like the mechanics of Guild Wars 2. I think they're a lot better than WoW, in my personal experience. I know Rex is about to disagree with me vehemently, because he will defend WoW to the death. But no, I prefer the mechanics of Guild Wars 2. Simple. Yep.
I like the PvP system. I like that things are equalized gear-wise. I like once I have Ascended, I don't need to grind for more gear or better gear.
Yep.
I like not competing for resource nodes. What else? There's probably a load of other things. I like a lot of the little. I like the way the wardrobe system works. compared to other games, not just WoW, but a variety of others. So there's a lot of little reasons, I guess, that add up in Guild Wars 2 over World of Warcraft. Rangers, for example, Rangers versus Hunters. I like you have to go and like stow the pet and pull out which ones you need, and Guild Wars 2 systems
Lose the
just
name
simpler.
every single time.
In Guild Wars 2, you lose the name every single time.
Yeah.
I don't remember in WoW, to be honest.
Feels bad, man.
No, you keep it in WoW.
But-
Stored.
Yeah, it's stored. So like that is better than WoW, but you have to go to your I forget what it's called, to change pets out and stuff.
Yeah.
Where I can just do that on the fly in Guild Wars 2. I don't need to go to a stable and bring out my brown bear, so I can go and be awesome, and be a bear bow.
But I mean,
I think
Sorry, go ahead.
I think Guild Wars 2 is more about on the fly and just keep walking, and I think World of Warcraft is a lot of backtracking and doing shit in towns, and whenever you finish a quest you have to go back in town, and I just get bored with World of Warcraft. Like with Warlords of Draenor, I got to the bird zone for Alliance, and it was just I was at the end of the zone and I had to go back out to the beginning, and I just quit, never touched it again.
You don't like going to a mailbox and having 700 giant dragon mounts standing all over it so you can get your mail?
Nah, I don't like that.
You know, like pulling bosses into cities and just having them kill people with idle.
That used to be a lot of fun.
That's the thing I like
had
about WoW.
I had an economics professor that played WoW, and he had framed in his classroom emails that he had from Blizzard saying that they were banning his account for pulling bosses into towns, killing idle players. He was so proud of that.
Someone makes an interesting point. Pet control in WoW actually works. You're absolutely right. The pet control is way better in WoW than it is in Guild Wars 2. I don't disagree.
Doesn't matter, though.
Deathmore80 says, at its core, Guild Wars 2 is a better game than WoW, and it just has lots more potential, but ArenaNet are just bad at fulfilling this potential. Look at all these regions. You know what? On the map of the Planetary. You know what? I actually hate to agree with you here, but you're actually right.
I don't hate to agree with you at all.
I think the game
agreeing
has
with
a
that-
lot of potential. So much potential, but it's just not currently working out as planned, unfortunately.
I don't. You see that in a whole lot of stuff. You see that with people that have potential that just throw it away. I'm a very good example of that. For example, I'll just use me since I won't shit on anything else. But you have people that don't have a whole lot to work with, like inks, and they just make something great with it. I was just joshing.
Yeah, just joshing with you. Just having a Jake for Brazil.
Occasionally, you'll have someone that has a whole lot of potential, and then they also put a whole lot of work in it, and they do something with it. So I don't know.
I really love this picture of this map that you linked. Actually, it's colored and all that stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's colored in. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
There's another version that shaman had that is not. It's not colored in or whatever.
Yeah.
That I made into a cloth map that is cool, but I really like this colored version.
Yeah,
So-
it's nice.
Whoever
That's
did
nice.
that, well done.
Got a little. You can make it into a salt map, if you know what that is. It look really nice as one of those.
To be honest, I don't think we'll ever leave the continent we're at right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You could be right.
Yeah, this is the other link. Someone just linked the other one. Yeah, this is the one that I made into, which is nice as well. I like it, but I don't know. I like the color Deathmore. So thanks for linking that, by the way.
Imagine if you could program on Guild Wars 2, raids would turn into dungeon speedruns done in 10 minutes or kick. I don't know if you're talking to us, but that's not what we want.
Yeah, I don't want that.
No.
I want raids to be long.
Yeah, I'd prefer them to be epic, and they kind of are. You know, some pretty. I mean, a good example of this is Gorsel, the boss that no one really likes, but it's a pretty epic fight if you think about it. You know, he's a big guy.
I don't have
platform
any
blows
problems
up.
with Gorseval. Why
Yeah.
do people don't like Gorseval?
But well, you know, he's the little fella that gets overlooked, right?
Sort of, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, people talk
it's-
less about him than
Yeah,
Sabbath.
I mean, it's Sabbather is the kind of
mechanic fun.
I don't know.
No.
Sabbather is kind of a mixture of both, right? So you have to be able to deal with mechanics and still do some damage at the same time. Whereas Veil Guardian, it's just kind of the IQ test. You know, it's you got to deal with all this shit and then slap things. Slap him, tickle him to death, and he just dies.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, we've already got that one. Plenix has already got that, man. We don't need that one again. You've already done that. That's power. Well, let's see. What's even going on here? What do you think about a continent being called Yeah? Is that actually the case? If so, that's
it's. Yeah, I mean, that's a placeholder name. Obviously, some of these things are.
No.
Wooden Potatoes actually talked about some of this. A lot of the names that him and that shaman came up with are kind of like guesses at best in some circumstances, and there's definitely some of the continents or islands or whatever that are clearly named after either developers or map makers or something. So they're probably just placeholders, I think, for some of this stuff, or perhaps translated incorrectly. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably not placeholders because we're never gonna go there.
Right.
They're probably just gonna leave it that way.
Right. I would agree with you. I don't think we're going to go to a lot of these places on that map, but it's cool that they have a map like that.
I mean, the Arid and the Howling Peninsula and the wetlands kind of make sense because it sounds like an explorer describing the place, not really naming them.
Sure. Yeah.
But then you have places like the Not Real and the Kim one, and that just doesn't make sense. That's just named after developers. That's clearly just some sort of service to them.
Right.
That's pretty funny though. So I mean, wow, it's actually quite a long tea time. We've rambled on here for 2 hours and 22 minutes and 22 seconds. Perfect. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Did you say
wow?
Maybe I should have kind of the same thing with the WoW, but it's just Billy Harrington or something, or Van Darkholm.
Wow.
Be pretty good actually.
What are you combing your beard with, Brazil?
A comb.
A comb.
Oh, it's a comb.
I found it. It was sitting next to this. First. I don't know why it was over there, but it was. It's like I have these all over the place. I don't know where they go. So
you know what we should do now?
It was behind my friend Jim.
Behind your
Jim Beam.
Barely drunk any of that. Fucking lightweight.
Mine is gone.
Careful.
Why is the rum
Twitch
gone?
TOS.
I know that's why I could slam this whole thing because
Just
I've
do
done
it.
that. No,
Just do it. Just do it.
you can't.
Wait, what is it? What is it?
That's why I don't take my shirt off whenever I call myself fat. I would otherwise, but it'll get Teapot stream banned.
Wait, what is the TOS? You're not allowed to.
Self-destructive behavior and excessive drinking are not allowed.
But isn't
What's considered excessive? I guess drinking that whole bottle.
Slamming this whole bottle.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, that could well be considered a problem. But you guys suggest us who to host and invade with our dank memes, while we learn about these esteemed gentlemen who are with us. And Modremoth, you do in fact have both a YouTube and the Twitter. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
It's Modremoth, basically. That's the only thing I have. And I don't really make videos. I'm lazy.
At Modremoth?
Yeah.
Yes, at Modremoth.
At Modremoth. He has to be a mod in every stream, otherwise he's just Ramoth. Otherwise it doesn't work. So if you have a stream,
Mod me.
you have to mod him, yeah. Otherwise he's nothing.
Mod for you.
Auto mod.
Yeah, he will mod. And by mod he won't do anything. But, whatever. He just needs that sword.
I mean, Aurora Peachy kicked me off. Like, from all the people I wasn't expecting it from. It was Aurora Peachy. Like, I was expecting it from maybe Teapot, but... Damn, felt like a knife in the back.
Right. Okay.
Bad mod.
What about Inks? Who are you? How'd you even get in this Skype
MMO
call?
Inks. I do stuff on Twitter and YouTube at MMO Inks. It's actually pronounced Moinks.
Moinks, that's right. Moinks. It's me. We're just oinks for short because I am also a chubby chub, just like Brazil. In my case, that's putting it kindly. I'm basically just fat, and you should follow me on Twitter and YouTube at MMO Inks.
There you go. And finally, we have another chubby chub. It is Brazil. The man, the myth, the Gachamuchi legend, Brazil DNT.
Hi everyone, I'm Brazil D&T. I'm sorry, but my current guild D&T doesn't exist anymore, even though I'm role-playing that it does. But you can find me by searching Brazil D&T, and you'll still probably find me anyways.
Let's see if that works. Yeah, I definitely will, honestly.
I'm sure it probably will. You might find the wrong Twitch stream, but you'll find my YouTube. You'll probably find my Twitter.
Yeah.
So, don't forget Neckbeard. Thank you, Jebro.
Oh, and
Yeah,
Boots.
You're still
Boots the cake eater is not here this week because he's eating cake somewhere.
Yes, he is enjoying his life, doing things, doing various other activities that are not tea time. I mean, why? I have no idea, but he's doing it anyway. A traitor, you could say. And then you know what else you could do? While you're here, you might as well follow the stream. You've got nothing better to do. You've just been watching this shit for 2 hours, so you might as well, honestly. And you
Maybe
can try.
Guild Wars 2?
Maybe you do want to buy Guild Wars 2. Maybe you want to buy a copy of Guild Wars 2. Because honestly, I think we've critiqued the game in a lot of ways here. Shows our passion for the game, passion for Stronghold at least. Mine and Ink's love affair with the game is infinite. And Brazil is kind of the counterbalance. Me and Inks will be nice about the game. Brazil will just shit all over the game. It's pretty good. And then we have Modremoth. He's like, I don't even know what he is.
Carried away.
He's like a cherry on the top of the cake, the icing. You know, it's just we are the globular, gloopy kind of cake mix.
We're the chubby chaps.
He is the sweet icing on top of us all. That is what Modremoth
Me?
is.
Thanks.
No. Well, you can be the icing as well.
This analogy just isn't working.
Yeah, the only reason I watched this for 2 hours is because I had a stroke during the beginning of the show. That is actually pretty unfortunate. Yeah, we just Magus Aero and Kitterbake just followed the stream. Wow. Model citizens, if you ask me. So right now, guys, tell us who should we host? Because it is that time where we thank you for watching this glorious tea time. If you missed any of it, it will be on YouTube, where you should also subscribe.
You should.
What Potatoes got more salty than Brazil? That's surprising. Go watch last week's tea time.
Wooden Potatoes is an idiot.
Shots fired.